on, man. Can
Boom! Big up, everybody. Welcome back.
Why are you being a hater?
Dude, Marshall's already being a hater.
Yeah.
We're not even 30 seconds in, and this guy's already being a hater.
Drinking the
Crazy.
hater,
It's
man.
crazy. Ahmed's already playing Pokemon.
Wait, how's Marshall being a hater? How's Marshall hating? Did I miss something?
Did you not hear the booze?
Yo, why is this Arsenal fan
booed me.
talking, bro?
I thought that was.
what the flip was
Nah,
that?
why would I boo
What
TJ?
was that
Fucking
shit,
guy
man?
booed me,
What
bro.
was that?
Oh my God, look who it is. Look who it is.
Oh my God, man. Is
Dude,
that Osama? Is that Osama, then? What's going on?
B-Tech Rambo.
Osama is crazy.
He does like a
That's
beat
someone
there.
inside the show, boss.
No, but you know what? That's because Jake. No, I don't know.
To care about what you got to say to me.
Hello, everyone. Very nice to be here. Wow, a lot of words said. Right? Hey, hi. How you doing? Shit.
This Vader.
Welcome, everybody. We got
energy, man. No energy.
Let me just intro, and then we're just gonna.
When the motherfucking
man.
train gets going, it won't be able to
Yeah,
stop.
it's-
So I'm just
it's-
allowing
This is nasty
space.
over here, man. This is nasty.
This is gonna be absolutely insane.
Yeah, some
we are
coke.
joined,
I'm glad
we're
you saw the
joined
coke,
special
man.
guests. We got Dal and Corey here, featured everybody, because I had to cancel American Idiot, so it's a little bit of a crossover. So we got one additional idiot here, as well as Corey, who is not an idiot. He's pretty well balanced, I think. And we got.
Are you an
obviously-
idiot, TJ? Are you an idiot?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh,
but
yeah,
TJ's here,
100%.
so
I'm the king. I'm the
there's
king.
always
I'm
an
the king
idiot
idiot,
present on
bro.
TJ
Dude, I'm
Warren
the king.
TV.
I am the king
Confirm that.
idiot, bro.
Shouldn't have
Big
confirmed
up
that,
everybody
man.
already in the chat. Smash the likes. If you don't like what somebody's saying, obviously you can super chat them into the cell. Do we just want to start with Ange Postecoglou being sacked?
We just. I need to hear the Jacob rant, bro. I need
You
it.
gotta
man.
hear their
in his pockets. Fuck you.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just get our stream demonetized right now.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
Bright and
share
early.
the message that Jacob sent me after Ange Postecoglou got sacked.
Wait, What's the context? Did you send him something before this?
No, so the context of this is I have been saying on all these streams that, and you guys have been on it with me. I literally told him, I'm like, no matter what happens, I'm going to enjoy this offseason because Ange is going to get sacked and the Tottenham Hotspur fans are going to go to civil war with each other, or he stays and I get a guaranteed 6 points and watch him finish 17th by November, and he gets sacked anyway. Right.
Okay.
So here's what Jacob sent me. Let me cue it up.
Proud of you, TJ, for saying it just like that. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So eloquent.
So here, let me make sure.
Fuck you.
Yep, there we go.
Fuck you. 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 How the fuck TJ wins? I don't get it, dog. I can't even fucking be a European fucking champion without TJ getting a fucking win. You were fucking right.
Huh?
You fucking fuck. You fucking fuck.
Champion.
Fucking fuck. Fucking ass.
Oh my god.
Fucking ass shit.
Can't be a champion.
Fucking fuck.
Yeah, champ.
Damn it. Fuck. Either way, TJ wins. TJ wins. TJ go.
It's still going.
He's scratching out.
I forgot how long it was.
He crashed out.
The European bit was definitely the best. I can't even be a European. Without
He
TJ
said, how
winning.
can I be a European champion and TJ still wins?
That was great, bro.
The Civil War, the Civil War has been absolutely insane. Jacob, I'm gonna let you just have the first salvo, bro. I mean, Ange Postecoglou could get sacked. Thomas Frank coming in. Let us know how you're feeling, man.
Big Thomas Frank, man.
Big Thomas Frank, Big Tommy.
Big Tommy.
You
T.
say big, but he's got the same stature of a teenage female. Okay. His waistline is under 30 for sure. But okay, big man, huh?
He'll
Okay.
save money in the suits.
I mean, I'm sure, if anyone's weird looking uncle decided to smoke crack, they could start looking just the same figure, just a slender Ken doll, but bags under his eyes like he hasn't slept in 2 years. Bags bigger than Pamela Anderson's fake bags. What are we talking about? Big Frank.
God.
Big Frank in 2025, huh? Shit. And don't talk to me about, he's so good at just accepting whatever Levy's going to give him. He's going to be so good at saying, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I'm grateful for this, sir. Thank you, sir. He's so good at that, right? Look how good he's done it. Brentford are a well-run club. Bottom line, scouting-wise, recruitment-wise.
Yep.
And he is a part of that. But a part of that. He is not all of that. So when you remove a piece from it, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how big of a percentage you think that he actually had to do with Brentford scouting these players, recruiting these players, and the business that they, losing Ivan Toney and still having a lethal attack with Mbuemo and Visa, who were actually there when Toney was there anyway. So it's, to me, Spurs fans coping with the fact that I'm also coping with the fucking realization that Spursy's never going to die. That's never going to go away. That is what they are. That is what we are. It is everything we will ever be for the rest of time. Because you can't fucking take one step forward without shitting in your pants. And so, let's take a step back. So I just pee a little bit in my pants. Because these cucks are afraid to get out the goddamn Hotel 8 chair. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. They say, I took 2 steps forward, and then you shit it and you throw up in your pants. Fucking losers. That's all it ever will be. I should just accept the fact that I won't see another thing like I've seen it for another 40 years, which I ain't even been alive for 40 goddamn years. So, again, you can tell me what your feelings are about Frank, but I'm going to just reply with all the gargantuan mountains of bullshit I heard about Ange. Facts over feelings. My facts don't care. So let's factually go look at Thomas Frank's achievements page on Transfer Market. You're going to think the page is still loading because there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Wow.
You're going to scroll to the bottom and it's going to say, he got promoted through the playoffs on his second try because he failed the first time. On Ange's second try with Tottenham, he won us a European trophy. There's levels to this shit. So I'm fine if you want to sack Ange for getting 17th. but don't step backwards. Don't be afraid to step forward. Like, yes, I understand we've had better managers in the past, but this to me was a chance for us to not just be in a sailboat and be like, hee guys, look at all the sailboats in the lake and we're all sailing with all the sailboats. Hee, the sun's out. Hee, I'm getting a tan. Hee. That's what Spurs fans want, to just be in the lake with all the other boats. I want to sail to get somewhere. That's what I thought that this year could be, because yes, it is fucking awful to get 17th place. However, Dal, how old are you? You the oldest motherfucker on here. How old are you?
51.
So you were 10 years old when we last done what we did 2.5 weeks ago, huh?
Yeah, I've been following Arsenal since about 98, 99.
Yeah.
I was about 6-7 years old when you started following Arsenal. So, but I'm 34 years old, and the thing that, since I've been a fan of Tottenham, all I ever heard, wore a trophy. And it's like, okay, guys, but we finished above Arsenal, guys. Wore a trophy, Jacob. You're right. We didn't win it, but maybe next year we're going to do something. And then next year comes around and we digress, or we stagnate. And it's just always kind of been the story of it. And so it's like, yeah, if we have to get into unprecedented times to reach uncharted waters, I'm perfectly fine with that. That's why in the summer I said I would take 17th just to win that Europa Cup. Did I think that would actually fucking happen? No. But I know verbatim I said that. I never thought that we would actually get 17th, and I actually never really thought we'd win Europa, because I was like ultimately kind of reserved a little bit to Tottenham being fucking losers forever. And I just got to be the one shining light among the little cuck dim fleshlights that roam this club, that infest this club with their fandom. Fucking weirdos, dog. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You ain't got to look far. You can smell that shit from a mile away. Yeah, I know. We help you win. We help Arsenal look. They take literally everything you say. Like, I'm so convinced that Spurs fans are worse to Spurs fans than rivals ever could be, than Arsenal ever could be.
Trust me,
because
we get it.
I go onto channels and I'm hearing this waffle from Egal, and I'm like, bro, this is light work compared to the bullshit I gotta hear from my own fans. Like, what are we talking about?
Egal does not talk for 85 to 90% of the Arsenal fans. I'm sorry.
Like even top gooners are embarrassed from Egal.
Bro, I saw people adding Jacob on Twitter, bro. It was nasty, bro. They were celebrating.
The thing is, it's fun, bro. It's fine. It's fine if Henry Talks Arsenal wants to tweet me 3 minutes after we sack our manager. He's not a fan of Tottenham. He's a fan of who clicked my video, guys. Hee hee. You like my video? Hee hee. Thank you. That my thumbnail has Fabrizio Romano in it. That's what his fucking flavor is. Hee. Oh, guys, click on my fucking video. Hee. There's a reason why he's named after Thierry Henry and Ian Wright. I mean, just come on.
Right.
So
I think Jacob, what you were saying, like,
no. Here's actually here's a really funny update to all of that. There's a really funny update to that. So Spurs Kings TV, you know, Ash Maddock Marlin, one of the best Spurs channels out there for like whatever side of the fence. You want to sit in the cuck chair, you're welcome there. You want to get to fucking in the bed, you're welcome there. So it's kind of a good place for all of Spurs fandom, so to speak. They can all hang out freely there and feel comfortable in their skin, or comfortable in the dark corner watching everyone have fun. It's cool. There's no judgment. They did a poll, like a end of season rewards or end of season awards for YouTube Spurs creators or whatever.
Oh, I saw that.
At the very bottom, it's like non-Spurs creators, and the first option was Henry Wright. And so the photo of non-Spurs creator Henry Wright with a little bubble there. I mean, that's just fucking great. That's just fucking classy.
God,
that is
shout out Ash Maddock, by the way. Shout out Ash Maddock.
I think it was Marlon who did it, but Ash Maddock is one of my favorite people. Like, I mean, he when you listen to him, he takes you to school. He's teaching me all kinds of nerdy shit, or I never really pay attention. I'm just trying to get out there and get to fucking. But he wants to teach me about the double pivots and the who's and the what's in the half space. That's fine. I'm trying to get up in that half space too, my friend. So my point by saying that is, we do things that are not like us, and then I'm like, cool, we're no longer that friend that you grew up in high school with that you love very much, your mother loves, but he just can't stop fucking doing hard drugs. And you finally got him sober, and you're like, let's go, buddy, we're going on vacation. And you go vacation, and then as soon as you get back, the motherfucker starts doing hard drugs again. And you're like, dude, we were sober. Why are we going back to what? You're telling me that one of your biggest selling points for Trash Can Trailer Park Tommy is the fact that he says yes really good. This isn't BDSM. I don't need a submissive manager. I don't need a dominant manager. I need a manager who I could at least say, look at this. This is comparable in any realm to the manager we just sacked. Yeah, award show for Spurs. I think it's funny.
I voted for you. I voted for you.
Yeah.
3
So what
times,
did he get,
Jacob,
man?
don't
So
worry.
what did he get? So what did he get?
I mean, bro, I mean, I'm in the same category with expressions. Like, I'm cool, and I don't even need to. I know I ain't gonna win that shit, but I'm cool with just being in the room. Hey, that's expressions, bro. He's a celebrity. And he's also a European winner.
Jacob. Much of your fan base, you're just happy with being in the room while it's happening. You know.
Wow.
Oh, that's a good one. You got me. You got me. I guess in that sense, I am the Hotel 8 season pass holder. You're right. No, but it's just what are we doing here? Another thing is these are all arguments that I've heard pro. Hang on, where's my? Here comes Tommy. Hey, Tommy. That's the pills in his pocket, little crackhead.
Huh?
Trailer Park Tommy. You ain't never heard that? You what's the hoe call when you go to the trailer park? You just get. Then all the hoes start paying attention.
Jacob,
Hey,
like
shit,
this.
that sounds like some pills.
Jacob, Tommy's more like this one.
Nah, that's actually a bucket, man.
Rev up your Camaro, we come running.
That's how you call the hoes in the trailer park. That's Tommy walk around the corner. He got all the hoes following him. But my point in saying all that is like it's an unfortunate event, right? Whenever you got to shoot the whole block up, but it's not my fault the block got hot, and it's not my fault you decided to stand on the motherfucking block when it got hot. All right, it's that simple. So when you get hit with the barrel, that's just what it is. And Thomas Frank is an unfortunate. I mean, he can win me over in his first match at the Super Cup. You win that fucking thing. Hey, you're my manager, my gaffer, Tommy Gun. Whatever fucking weird ass name we want to come up with for that fucking loser. But again,
And if he loses,
if he loses, if he loses, it's please roll the trash can down the fucking hill. But no, we want give him time. He needs time to implement himself. And then all the people are gonna be like, oh, he's just gotta erase all the damage that Ange has done. You mean wash off the winning mentality? You mean whitewash glory? Gotcha. Because you want a guy to come in here, get on his hands and knees and say, yes, sir, Levy. What kind of fucking dog chow you give me tonight? That's what they fucking want because they want relevancy without winning. Relevancy without winning. Yeah. Yeah. Ange came in, and guess what? He actually raised the standards. So if your aspirations are above or below that is irrelevant. The standards were raised as soon as I fucking saw silverware. Bottom line. So if you don't come in and deliver silverware, it's fuck you till tomorrow. It's that simple. But if you go get a guy who has a similar CV or comparable, or hey, to dare that it may be a better CV than Ange Postecoglou's, I'm fine with it. It has zero to do with Ange. See, it's cucks like this. Oh, dude, loser mentality. Ange leaders first. This is the shit I'm talking about. Scott M is the epitome of everything I've been saying.
Not the Thomas Frank
Bro,
Abbey.
he's not even announced as our manager,
Abbey.
and he spread that cornhole. It's crazy, dog. That's just not how I move.
Oh my god.
Wait.
This villain.
This is nasty. This is absolutely disgusting.
Bro, he's not even our manager. He has a Harry Kane shirt as his Avi from Bayern Munich.
You know what?
What else I gotta say?
You know what? We need to step in there.
Yeah,
because
I need to talk.
Let Vader go. Let Vader go.
Let Vader gaslight, man. This is gonna be peak.
Yeah. Let RSM tell you.
He's gonna try and do that EGOT. You should accept Thomas Frank because he's gonna get you top 8 and no cups. I've done 15 years of that bullshit. Wore a fucking trophy.
No,
That's all I got to say.
I'm not doing the egal. Yes, we're both Canadian, but no, I'm not going to do the egal thing. Now, what I'm going to talk about is this is disgusting. You win one
Yeah, it
trophy,
is.
and now
Yeah.
it's my standards are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear how you're talking right now?
Bro, I bagged Margot Robbie. Why am I trying to get back with Melissa McCartney?
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Hey, respect Melissa. Respect
I
Melissa.
did.
He took advantage of her. That's what
Melissa's
happened.
fine. There's nothing wrong if you want to be the
no.
dude with Melissa. Not me.
You
I got
had
Margot.
nothing-
It's cool.
You had nothing. You had nothing to do with this game. All right. Ange delivered this trophy. You're not now going to say my standards are. Oh, I expect trophies now. Relax.
I am going to say it because I did say it, and that's how I feel.
And it's
You
ridiculous.
can't tell me how to feel.
Okay.
I'm operating in facts, not feelings.
You can feel that way. Now you can also imagine how ridiculous other fans sound when they've won multiple trophies and they have the same standards. Listen, you are to fight for trophies, not expect them. I'm a City fan. I get trophies often. I never expect them. But this is the arrogance that you're having from a manager that finished 17th. Your club is trying to do more than that. They're trying to do more than finish 17th and get a trophy. You're no longer in Europa. You're in Champions League.
I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to go back to Pochettino vibes, and we got songs and his Pantene Pro V goddamn sponsorships. Get your Garnier Fructis loving ass the fuck out of here. Win a goddamn trophy, and then because no, people want us to continually be the goddamn lily pad that propels some loser into fame, like we did with Pochettino. And guess what? We did it successfully. Then I've already read that book. Thank you. I'm trying to read a new motherfucking book. And guess what? Ange showed me a whole different genre of motherfucking books. And then you're like, let's go back and read that fucking color, that fucking picture book. No, I graduated from there. So yes, the standards are set by the club and how they go. But that's my point, is the club took us like this and then said, hey, guess what? Let's go back 11 years because let's hire a guy who's going to, I feel he's going to improve us. I think he's going to improve us. Operate in facts, not feelings.
One second. There's no United fan on this panel, but this is why Erik ten Hag remained an extra year, because of fans like you. Oh, let's keep Ange one more year.
Because winning back-to-back trophies is something Tottenham do all the time. Thank you for that, Vader. Thank you. You act like us doing a Ten Hag is a bad thing when our standards are literally in the dirt. And you're talking about, oh, you're almost at a 10 octave. You know what I wouldn't have given before this Europa Cup to get a Carabao and an FA Cup in consecutive years? I could give a fuck. That's all I've been asking for, because it's always been war a fucking trophy. War a fucking trophy, Jacob. War a fucking trophy. So all I got to say to all you cucks, all you anyone like TJ trying to talk shit on my cup, war a fucking trophy.
All right, listen, I actually want to...
This is peak. This is great, man.
This is great, kid.
I love the man. I love the game.
Let's actually attack this. Yeah, I think for me, if you look at Ange, yes, did he won your trophy? We should give him credit for that. But if you look at the season as a whole, his kamikaze tactics, bro, did not work for the betterment of the team. That's just me being objective. Okay?
250,000 people at the parade would probably disagree, and that's not including the millions like me who are watching digitally. But continue.
Listen,
let's operate on facts and feelings. No. The facts are 250,000 motherfuckers screaming their bloody fucking lungs out. That's the facts. You're feeling that is, oh, it's not good. It's No. You are not understanding it. Guys, my feelings.
You know what's funny about Ange?
He doesn't understand trophies.
You know what is, Vader? What's funny about Ange is, Ange was not willing to die on his sword. Was willing to die on his sword, when it came to the Premier League. But when it came for the Europa League, for do or die matters, he said, you know what? Nah, fuck the sword. I'm here to play. I'm here to be a general. So, and for me...
So you're critiquing him for adjusting and winning, when that's all I heard all season was... That was one of the biggest... That was one of the biggest gripes. That was one... Exactly. So, you know, like a human does, you make mistakes in life, and then you learn from them, and you would change things, and then you win a goddamn trophy. That's what he did.
He doesn't need to learn from that, because it was actually
how do you know what he needs? That's your thinking. That's your opinions. That's your feelings. Let's go back to facts. Let's go back to facts. Let's go back to facts. Facts are Thomas Frank in our worst ever season. The facts are Thomas Frank can't beat Ange, but this is the worst ever Tottenham. But Thomas Frank can't even beat that. So
Let's
how
go
am I
back to
supposed to
facts.
be excited about that?
I got this. I got this. Let's go back to facts, right? The facts are Ange failed in the League Cup, he failed in the FA Cup, and he barely survived in the Prem.
We're 90 minutes away from a final, and we competed in 2 out of 4 competitions.
Relax, I'm talking facts. The facts is he didn't deliver on any.
Facts
of
are
those
90 minutes.
The facts
90 minutes away
the
from a
facts is
final.
He did not deliver.
We were
If
90
you're
minutes away from a
confident
final
in
at
the point,
PSG. If
let
I
me
said that,
finish
I'd
it.
get killed.
If
I'm
you're
saying,
confident in
TJ.
your man, let me.
But we
finish
also
this.
won a trophy the same year that I'm referencing that 90 minutes from a final, TJ. Can you say that? No. Sorry, Vader, go ahead.
All right, listen. You failed. To
Worst
win
Europa
those
League
trophies.
ever.
This manager also failed to
War trophy.
succeed in the Prem.
Luke Shaw's
Now
on.
he won Europa. In this upcoming season, there's no Europa, Jacob. The facts are he hasn't won the League Cup. He hasn't won the FA Cup.
Yeah, because
and
guess
hell
what? We
no is he
progressed in the
winning
Champions League. He
What?
progressed in the Champions League. That's what. That's why we're not in
Progressed
Europa
what?
this year.
You want
'Cause
you-
we
oh,
won
you
the
want
whole
progression. You
motherfucking
don't want
kit
a
and
trophy,
caboodle.
You want progression.
We did. Back-to-back European finishes, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, I'm going on.
13
The
titles.
problem is right now, and I hate to say this about my.
This is what
Did I lie?
No,
Did I lie?
listen.
No, Vader, you can
One
sit
at a
back in your
time,
chair all
one at a
you
time,
want
one at a
because
time.
you don't like what I said. But did I lie? First year Ange was here, Europe. Second year Ange was here, Europe. He put up a motherfucking alley-oop for Thomas Frank to come in at the Super Cup, as far as I'm concerned. His first game is for a trophy. War a fucking trophy, Thomas. You better win that shit.
He's gonna lose 4-1.
No,
Yeah,
who knows? He's so
Thomas
adaptable and so
Frank, yeah,
tactical,
you got to
masterful.
give-
His hair's gonna
Jacob,
flow in the
Jacob,
wind.
Jacob, he
He's
can work
definitely
with what
not
he
gonna
has.
put his
Jacob,
hands
he
in
can
his
work with what
pockets.
he
He's
has.
definitely not gonna look down in an interview. No, it's all gonna be great. He's gonna flail around like Inzaghi did in the fucking final versus PSG. It's gonna be great, and it's gonna be like, oh yeah, look at his fucking hair. It's gonna be yeah, the vibes are back. And when we lose, and when we continue to lose, and shit get looking like shit again,
It'll be
guess
Spursy.
what? They're gonna be like, Frank, get him out of here. I've read this book too many goddamn times. Fuck Frank. Fuck all this bullshit. Give me a better manager.
I'm sorry to tell you this,
Like
bro.
Conte?
I really
Bro,
feel
you've
like
had better managers than Ange
we are
Postecoglou.
trying to
And we
say-
failed them.
You're trying to fix the
Ainge,
manager.
with all the failures we gave him, he still prevailed. What the fuck does that say to me?
True.
But that's
What the
I mean,
fuck
like,
does that say to me? No matter how many bullshit try to pull him down, curses, voodoos, hoodoos, want to pull him back. He broke all that bullshit.
But that's the problem.
All of
Every
it.
single manager
Broke that
that you
bitch's
have-
back like it was Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath
but
Ledger.
That's the thing. That's
Oh
the thing. That's the
my
thing that through the emotion of Ange's dick in your asshole right now, you're failing to see. You're failing to see.
Wait, why did
that
you?
Every
Say,
single,
no one was talking
every
about
single-
Ange's wiener, dude.
The less I speak.
Who played that sound effect?
You
need to go to jail.
That was fucking
You didn't let me play that
hilarious.
sound effect. You need to go to jail.
What I'm trying to say though, Jacob, is like you literally said it right there. You guys as an institution have always failed the manager, right?
Yeah.
What is something that Thomas Frank does? He just works with what the fuck he has. He doesn't ask like Jose.
That's what
He
Ainge
doesn't
did,
ask
and he
like
won me a
Ange.
trophy.
He
So
doesn't
why
ask
can't my
like
standard be
Bruno.
there?
Stop
Ange
saying
almost got
trophy.
you relegated.
He just laughed and screamed.
You know
Did
what's
we?
funny?
Did you
Bro,
die though?
Vader
Did you? No,
laughed and then
I ain't
screamed.
buying
He
this
Did die, but if I
shit.
nearly
I ain't
died, there's
buying this
fucking no
pussy
way I'm
shit,
taking
Marshall.
the risk a second time.
I ain't buying this pussy shit, Marshall. You a bigger man than that.
Listen, I understand. Like I listen. I went through Pochettino, and if Pochettino won me a trophy, I probably would have been the same exact vote.
Going
that
through
you
him
fucking
twice.
did.
No, that's
but he
not-
didn't
I
win me a
wouldn't be.
trophy. Yet last season you were telling me how but he got you into Europe, but he got you into Europe. That's not good
He
enough. That is not good enough for me in my standard. So here's the thing. You can have,
but your
you can
standard
have
is set
two
because
types-
your club has been a certain way, correct?
yes,
And it's
yes.
groomed you into this standard, correct? So
I
whenever I say
understand.
my aspirations are somehow here, when I've been groomed here, what is that? That's not a
reality-
standard. That's a reality of where we are, an
Okay, but
acceptance of where we are,
you
and a
did win a
notion of
trophy.
let's improve that.
You won a trophy, which is fantastic, and you didn't win any Mickey Mouse trophy either. You won a major trophy. You won the Europa League trophy, right? So that's fantastic. But there's
No, Mickey
also
Mouse trophy.
other facts as
Mickey
well,
Mouse
right?
trophy.
You set the record for most losses in the Premier League without getting relegated. That's the fact. Another fact is that if
I got
the
another
three
fact for
clubs-
you. Another
Marshall-
fact is in
Marshall-
143
if the
years.
three
No, shut the
clubs-
fuck up. I'll say whatever
if the
fuck I
three
want.
clubs that
Send
were
me to jail.
below you
Send me to jail.
weren't
You
worse
want me to
than
shut up?
you would have been relegated. That's another fact.
And Marshall,
I need
Marshall-
Bro got on the intercom. I was like,
And Marshall, just to let you know, Marshall, just to let you know, Marshall,
over
and why
feelings.
did that, Marshall, and why did they not actually, why were they in that position? Because Postecoglou fucked his players and played football that was killing his players. That's what happened.
that's how you feel. That's your feelings. That's your feelings. That's your feelings. That's your opinions. That's your feelings. You're allowed to feel however you want. You can shout in your fucking Boston Celtics room all you want. But I'm telling you right now that is your feelings and those are your opinions. You just screamed feelings and opinions. Let's go back to facts, Marshall. Facts are, yes, our worst Premier League season. So what does it say about an institution when you have your worst Premier League season and a manager in that same breath then becomes your fourth most successful manager in 143 years? And in the same motherfucking breath.
What a trophy.
What are we doing here?
We're losing recipes. We're losing recipes. We're losing recipes, man.
Hey,
We're losing
No,
recipes.
that's facts.
I
That's
see where
facts. That
this
this
is coming
club
from.
has been mismanaged for so long that we have somehow grown into enjoying being in a conversation. Well, like RSM said, I just enjoy being in the room with X. That's nice. Me and Expressions in a room, that's dope. I don't need to win no fucking weird poll thing. It's fine.
The fact that that even
because
exists is weird, by the way.
I'm included with Expressions. That's a big deal. That's what Tottenham
I'm happy
fans
for
feel
you.
in the Premier
I'm
League.
happy
I
for
just
you.
want to be, like around,
Jocko,
just like
Jocko.
hanging out, not doing shit, just hanging out. That is a fact.
No.
Jocko,
this
walk
was
me
way
down this
before your
hypothetical,
time.
please, because I need to
This is
hear this from a
ridiculous, man.
Spurs fan, right? Walk me down this hypothetical. This season with Europa League and the way it went with Ange, it ended up being your worst Premier League season record-wise, 22 losses and stuff. Can you walk me down the hypothetical of what happens the next season when you're in a tougher competition in the UCL?
Well, I don't know because we're hiring a manager that failed to beat my worst ever manager, my big criminal manager, Ange. He couldn't beat him. He couldn't beat him. And the squads were comparable. I ain't hearing this. He's weak and it's a little wounded beehive. Fuck your beehive. Hey, Jude, shut the fuck up. You can't beat Ange. I look forward to watching Thomas Frank on the weekends at the fucking local dive bar covering the Beatles songs. It's going to be fantastic. But my point is, you sack a guy and hire a guy who failed to be the worst ever loser ever. What does that say about me when that loser was our fourth most successful manager within 2 years of being here, and one of those years was our worst ever statistical Premier League season? What the fuck does that say about Tottenham? But I'm supposed to think, we're a big boy club. We finally acting like big boys. No, we got one foot in the pool and the other one shitting in our pants.
To defend your point, you have a good point. Because Ange did bring something to your club that hasn't been there for a long time, and that's obviously some silverware. And there's no guarantee that next season, obviously, there's no guarantee in any season that you would finish 17th again. Right? And I understand what you're saying. I guess if I was a Spurs fan, I would be pretty upset too, because Thomas Frank is a level down. It's not progressing. It's not a level up. He's not a name that's mentioned with, the top 9 or 12 European clubs. I would be upset. I get where you're coming from. I mean, to go from such a low to a high and now to a low again, that's going to damage your fan base even more.
There's more Tottenham fans celebrate, and I'll shut up for a second and let everyone else share their 2 cents because I got it out. I screamed at y'all for a minute. I just needed to do that. I feel better. Fuck Trash Can Tommy, Trailer Park Trash Tommy. Fuck that motherfucker. He looks like my goddamn aunt who smokes and drinks all day. She's just like, oh, Charlie, we're gonna go play against Ipswich, right? This fucking Hey Jude merchant.
But what if he starts winning your first 3 games? You're going to retract all the shit you say.
No, I'm not. No, I'm holding him to the standard that everyone held Ange to. Simple. And they don't like it. Look how weird and squirmy the fucking weirdos are getting in the chat. Oh, but he didn't. Oh. And you would think that they're like a rival fan. No, they support Spurs. And these are the same people that would also celebrate a sacking more than a trophy. That is the mentality at Tottenham. That is the shit that I do not align with.
Are you throwing Frank out? That's what we need to know.
He's not even here.
Well, I mean, he's gonna be here in the next 2 days.
I pray that this is some weird April Fool's joke, and we've got an actual manager lined up. You know, one with a CV. Because all they say is, Ange is not a real manager. I need a coach. Ange isn't a real manager. But then I go look at the manager they're all getting wet saying Coy's for, and I look at his achievements, and there's nothing there.
Right. You're right. You're right. And that's a very valid point.
Oh, but the boat hasn't sank at Brentford yet. Okay, so by that logic, Roy Hodgson is the guy. Roy Hodgson. Let's get us Roy Hodgson.
Jacob.
Ciao, you know,
Graham Potter. Oh, Graham Potter at Brighton. Oh, they got
Vader
promoted and they ain't been relegated either.
Fun fact about Roy Hodgson. Fun fact about Roy Hodgson. He actually got to Europa League final for them. Shout out to him in 2010. People don't know that, by the way.
Go ahead, Vader. Go ahead.
I mean,
Was that Hodgson prop? Did I miss that?
I'll believe it when I see it. With regards to Jacob being quiet on this point, I don't think it's possible.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I know you're trying really hard. The thing that I'm not understanding, and I get the rebrand because there was a time where you were the United Spurs
Ain't shit United
panel. Yeah. So you've changed the rebrand.
Yeah.
So you crashing out on your club before you even see whether the manager signed or whether the manager has managed a game yet is your new brand. I get it because you were very.
I've seen him manage games versus the manager we just sacked. He never won.
You haven't seen him manage these players. You know,
Fact.
you haven't seen him manage
Not
at
feelings.
this club. You haven't seen him manage now with the increase in chest amongst these
Do I
players.
need
They
to
now
ride
have
a donkey to
trophy.
know it's not a horse? What the fuck are we talking about?
Give him a second to land.
Do I need to ride the donkey to know, oh, this is a donkey, not a horse?
I'm not a clown.
Can you let me make the point?
Wow, look
No,
how
I
much
know
the
the-
people that he's-
Bro, you taking it. I mean, it's like listen to my
not
kid
a
tell me what
clown.
they want to eat for dinner. Like, I take it a bread.
Why
Okay.
ain't it in the pot
I
to
take it a peanut butter. Okay.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Vader, I guess. I
He's
want
too invested, man. He's too invested
You know,
in
I'll
Ange.
just
He's
leave
too
it
invested, bro. You need to
Jacob-
give him time to let go.
Ahmed, let Vader go.
Ahmed,
Damn it.
Ahmed,
Don't
the
be a
funny
Jacob.
thing is, Jacob deserves this. This
Damn.
whole
Okay.
turmoil-
Jacob, those
wait,
are fighting
that was
words.
wrong.
Jacob, you gotta throw hands. Jacob, you gotta throw
Yeah,
hands.
No, he's right. I do
Yeah,
deserve
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I do deserve it. He's right. He's right. Because I am doing the wrong thing by not backing a man. Just get behind the manager, guys. No, fuck you. How about that? I know I'm in the wrong. I don't care. I know people aren't going to agree with me. I don't fucking care. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say how I feel. And I'm not going to fucking spread cornhole for a guy who's not even my fucking manager. Like I see Thomas Frank's photo in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. Those people celebrate a guy losing his job over the guy bringing them something they ain't seen in 41 years.
No one's asking you to do that. You're the Spurs fan here on the panel. We want to get your take, obviously, with who may be the next manager, not already predicting that it's going to be a disaster, not already predicting that it's going to be worse than the previous season. We're asking, and I get it, you're emotional right now. You're doing the Hussam thing. Slot out. That's what you're doing. We get it. When you calm down.
I mean, Slot did come from the Eredivisie, but he did win the league. So there's like a resume there. Again, an accomplishment you could point at and say, hey, he did this.
How do you think we feel about Arteta?
Boom. Boom.
Right?
Boom. Yeah, that's a very good
Yo, Corey,
point.
you muted. Corey, you muted.
5 years.
Oh, in this club. Not,
There's a
you know,
difference.
but I'm not going to get into Arsenal.
You're so
Go ahead,
muted, bro.
Vader. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
That's what I'm saying. And people have trouble separating like how I feel about Tottenham versus the thing with Ange. Ange ain't my manager. And they're still talking about, oh, so you're Ange in. There's no Ange in or Ange out, shake it all about no more. That's dead. He's sacked.
crazy.
We shot
It's-
Old Yeller.
it's
We
Ange
can't go
grief,
pet
bro.
the dead dog. What the fuck is that? We can look at pictures of him and say, ooh, I love Old Yeller. You're such a good pup. But
I
we
just-
killed him. He's dead now. We got to move forward. So my point is, let's not get a dog that's gonna need to get shot in 18 months, if you know and understand the metaphor.
Don't get all yeller. Don't get all yeller.
Nah, but this is
Go
how I
ahead,
see
Lars,
it. Now this is how
All
I
right,
seen it, right?
Corey.
This is how I seen it, like with the whole
Let's go,
Rock
Corey.
thing. This is literally like on like a smaller scale. This low key like reminds me like with Wenger when we won the FA Cups. Obviously, like the Spurs and Arsenal standard is different, but like when we were literally screaming for the guy to go, despite him winning like 3 FA Cups in his last 6 years, like. I'm not talking about like Jacob, but like Jacob low-key reminds me of like them Wenger-ins. Like if we sacked him during like that time, we didn't just keep him. Literally, like they would have been like, oh, why are we getting rid of him? He's won us another trophy. Da 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 da. Obviously, Wenger was like a legendary manager for Arsenal, like nothing compared to like Ange, but like it's kind of like remind me of like that kind of like gimmick, but like on like a smaller scale. And like with
So
Thomas
what
Frank-
level would you rank him? 1 through 5? Wenger
We're
as
talking
far
about
as
Wenger or
legend?
Ange?
No, I'm
look.
asking you about Wenger because I don't
Wenger's a legend.
understand Wenger's history the way.
He's a legend.
Okay, so
Five.
okay, there's multiple legends at a club, right? So where would you rank him among the other legends?
Probably
He's the best Arsenal manager ever.
Yeah. He's probably he's number one Arsenal manager. Like
Okay.
George Graham's like running.
Yeah.
For that.
If my club wanted to sack Bill Nicholson and I was alive, I would say no, thank you.
Let me
Go ahead,
interrupt
Dal.
that.
No. What I'm saying is
Go ahead.
like
No, guys. Let Dal go real quick.
The
Go.
portion of the fan base at Arsenal, this is why it's so divided, that believes George Graham is the best, was better than Arsene Wenger at certain things, right? People believe that George Graham was the one that really developed Arsenal, and then it was Bruce Rioch who brought in Bergkamp, who was only there for a short time, and then it was Arsene Wenger. Right, Arsene Wenger is the most winning, but a lot of that is attributed to the George Graham days from the old Arsenal heads, the real true Arsenal heads like Jez, DJB, etc. They would give credit to George Graham just as much as Arsene, but even someone that would say George Graham was even a better manager because a lot of them think Wenger should have left after the third FA Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's my point. No, but like
Yeah,
my main point,
so-
but like my main point is like there were winning trophies, but there are still people saying he needs to go. And obviously, like Jacob is like, and like with Tottenham, it's like the opposite. Like with Jacob, it's like, oh, Ange just won a trophy, he needs to stay. So I'm saying like when I'm talking like the Wenger ends, is like that kind of sense. Like he's won a trophy, we should keep him.
But obviously, like we all know that the biggest issue in this whole thing is Daniel Levy, right? So when you look at Daniel Levy, and now we look at like the resume of managers that have been in and out of Tottenham. One moment he wants, he has Pochettino, he wants to build a project. Pochettino gets into a final, and next thing you know, not good enough. Sacks him. Let me get a manager that has a pedigree and trophies, has won trophies. What happens with Jose? Gets to a final, sacks him before the final. So then he goes, let me get a cheaper version of Jose in Nuno, someone up and coming.
Right.
Doesn't even last the whole season.
We wound up with Nuno because it was 76 days, a record, by the way. We set a record that year. For the longest time, a top flight club has gone managerless because we kept getting denied. So that's how we ended up with Nuno.
Wasn't Nuno like 7th or like God knows how far down like the list like you guys had that year? Like of like who y'all wanted.
When you get rejected so many times, it starts becoming more about the ones who say yes.
So then
Man.
Levy
Damn.
goes outside of those people, the well-known people, goes for a project manager in Ange, and then you get what you get. And now he wins them the trophy, the one thing they've been chasing for God knows how long, and then he sacks him again. So at the end of the day, I feel like Daniel Levy doesn't know what the fuck he wants. And it's stemming down to the fans as well, because it wasn't that long ago when you guys had Jose, you wanted a manager that had pedigree, that won trophies, a resume. That there were fucking Arsenal fans in that same season asking for Mauricio Pochettino, bring me back champagne football.
Okay, wait,
And
but
now
can I?
We're in this season.
They still
where
do that
people-
today, by the way.
and now
Which
you
is
get a
so
trophy.
crazy. You see what he's doing to the United States men's team, and yeah,
3
you
L's
want
in
him
a row,
back.
man. I love to see
That's
it. But bro, like,
absolutely insane.
let me
What was Marshall cooking with Steve
Let's
Hold
not
on,
do
hold
that. Let's not do that. Wait, let's not do
Wait.
that, man. You know, Poch has
Steve
got
Cooper.
a shit US team. You know, I mean, these players aren't good
Yo,
enough, man.
fucking
No,
please,
no,
put him in
no,
the cell.
No,
This guy needs to
Put him in the cell,
Berhalter
man.
got
Deport him.
out of
Deport
I'm
him.
sorry.
Reject his
man.
visa.
Put him in the cell.
Pay
Put him in the cell,
$2
man.
out of my
Put
weekly
him in
pay.
the
Send him to
goddamn
jail.
Put him in the
What's
cell,
wrong with you,
man.
Chad?
Right now,
Why are you
man,
letting this
what
criminal
you
speak?
You know what I mean? And like his best player is decided to play for AC Milan and not his country.
Put it in due
Tell him to
process,
back his
man.
flag, mate.
Dude,
Tell
no,
him to
no.
back his
Hey,
flag, man.
Landon Donovan doing the get off my porch stick is hilarious, bro. Because my wife has a huge crush on Landon Donovan. And so whenever he starts acting like a Karen, it's just hilarious. She's like, she used to love Landon Donovan back in the day.
That's
it's
all
good
I'm
stuff.
listen, that's all I'm saying, man. Yeah.
What a
all
Karen.
I'm gonna say is,
Tell your
I
star
heard-
boy to show up, man. Tell your star boy to show up for his team. Ronaldo does that, man. That's
Hey,
all I'm
Chris
saying.
Richards was there, okay?
God,
Chris
dude.
Richards was
Oh,
there.
Thank
my
God.
God.
Thank God. Shout out, man. W. W.
Hey,
Shout out.
W
Shout
soccer
out.
junkie.
Chats to keep
W.
upping this out for the rest of the
W.
show.
What
by
a
the way.
winner, bro! What a winner! No, I
That's a W,
gotta
bro.
say this. I gotta say this about Pochettino before we move on. me and Marshall were right. We knew we were right. But we were being gaslit and fucking told that we were lucky to have a Premier League level
I'm
manager.
give him the benefit of the doubt and wait.
No. TJ. They told you this is the best manager. Yeah. They told you he's the best manager the U.S. men's national team has ever had. That's what they told you, bro.
3 fucking L's. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Great.
On to something.
Getting
bring Clinton back. I'm saying it right now.
I will say, listen, hold up. I do want to say, because I haven't spoken through all this, I do want to play a bit of devil's advocate, right? And look at it from another side. There's a lot of players in that locker room who genuinely loved Ange, right? Yeah. Regardless of what we want to say about their form, regardless about what we want to say about where the team would have gone, they loved Ange, right? Who's to say that the team, even though you could say, people could argue, right? Is Thomas Frank better, whatever, they perform worse because it's not Ange, right? They just won a trophy with him, he gets sacked, and now, they feel sour towards the organization. It happens with players. Not only that, Thomas Frank doesn't have experience balancing league and Europe. As much as you want to say, whatever you want to say about Ange Postecoglou, this season gave him that experience of what it was like balancing Europe and balancing the games in the week. You could say he did a horrible job. However, I could also argue, right, in that run that but the thing is, like, in terms of the amount of injuries he had, right, and putting out a squad that was able to compete in the Europa League, what I would say is that the Europa League run, right, especially towards the latter knockout stages, we saw Ange Postecoglou be a lot more pragmatic, right? A lot harder to break down. He brought the line back a bit, and the team looked overall a lot better. What's to say he would not do that next season in the league, right? Who's to say that wouldn't happen? So that's the only little devil's advocate that I would do, because I think I agree with a lot of the points that were brought up. I would just say, looking at it from another way, right? You would go into a season, let's say Ange does implement the tactics you saw in the Europa League. You now have a team that is motivated, right? They just won the European champions. The coach is backed, and let's say because they have Champions League money, right? They back Ange with more players. And it might be better than what we see with Thomas Frank. Again, we'll never know, right? Because they already took the decision to sack him. But I do see a bit of what Jacob is saying. Although I do think that, overall, what happened during the Premier League season is obviously something to be worried about.
And to piggyback on what you're saying, RSM, there's no guarantee that they're going to finish 17th next season. And that's what I've learned as an Arsenal fan, finish 8th and 8th and 8th, right?
Yeah,
I always knew that we would
be
together. I knew that we would finish better. I didn't think it'd be under Arteta, and I still didn't think it'd be this long till we lifted a trophy. But at the same time, it's like 8th place, but we're still competing. 8th place, but you're still competing. So I could kind of see the horizon on there. And what I think the Spurs, Daniel Levy's just done specifically, is eliminate what you said earlier. All that motivation, all that hard work that they put into getting that cup is now fucking down the drain if they've got to start over again from step one, right? They got to wipe the slate clean. They got to look for new players, a new style of play. New style of play says it all right there.
Especially if it's true that players like Romero are going to leave if Ange got sacked.
Right. And Romero's going to leave. The Madrid links still remain. I know Madrid's after him as well. So whatever for, I don't know. I don't see it. But the thing is that to lift a trophy like that, as much as we make fun of it, as TJ and as Arsenal fans, we'd love to have that in our cabinet, right? We would love to have that in our cabinet. But I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to sacrifice the league, Champions League,
Dub Dow.
What's that?
Relax.
I was saying dubs because you said something honest that TJ can't admit to himself, at least live on air.
No. Here's the difference.
Finishing 17th is a lot different than finishing 8th. Finishing 8th is a hell of a lot different than finishing 17th. And the thing is, Jacob, I'm not trying to bite at you, but if we didn't beat Ipswich, you probably would have been relegated.
I don't deal in probablys. That's opinions and emotions and predictions. I deal in facts.
True.
You're probably saying that Thomas Frank's going to be a failure. You don't know that yet. There's no factual information.
Factually, he's not a winner, so I can not call him that.
That's true. I don't call Arteta a winner. I call him a fucking douchebag. I want him out of my club. Bring me Inzaghi, but that's too late. You know.
I am. By the way,
the thing is, sorry, TJ. Let me land for one second. The thing is it's with Thomas Frank, it's going to make it more difficult to find those bigger names to come in, and that's the thing. Mm-hmm. At least with Ange, he would have gotten some notoriety throughout Europe, and some players could have looked at Tottenham as some sort of project, which it's always looked at, and so is Arsenal. To be fair, but at least there would have been a higher selection, higher caliber of player. that probably would have been able to come to Tottenham. But with Frank, I think that blows that all out of the water. No one knows who this guy is. No real top European player gives a shit about Brentford. And yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to say I am pissed that we didn't win the Europa League when it was still tough competition to win. Carabao Cup
You're welcome for that, man.
is harder to win. FA Cup is harder to win. Champions League, which we are in again, is definitely harder to win, as we have figured out. So yeah, no, Spurs fans, enjoy the third-rate trophy. I am not hearing anything else. You can call me a fraud. That's totally fine.
Bro, saying Mount Everest is a hard hike, and I've never done it ever.
It's hard to win a competition that you're not in. That's all I'm going to say. It's hard to win a competition that you're not in. Vader, I know you got to go here pretty soon, but any final? No, I want to ask the panel. Realistically, how does Thomas Frank improve Spurs? Improve Spurs, and how much?
This is the manager I didn't want them to get.
They're cooked.
I agree. I agree. He's
agree
gonna make them a lot harder to beat.
Yeah, I actually think under Thomas Frank, they're actually going to do decently. This is the thing. There's a lot of fans like Jacob of football that disrespect Thomas Frank. And listen, I dealt with it last season with Chelsea fans. I see it all the time with other football fans of the Premier League, right? They see Thomas Frank, they think Brentford, they see mid-table club, and they think, oh, this guy's shit. The reality of it is that it's a Brentford side that was promoted.
I look at his achievements page and I look at shit. That's what I look at.
One of his achievements is that he's managed to keep Brentford in mid-table
Wore a trophy.
Higher.
Brighton wins their trophy parade.
Wins one trophy.
Palace wins their trophy parade.
It's so crazy. It's
Wore
so
a
crazy,
fucking trophy.
Jacob, this guy did more in the league than you did with a third of the budget.
That's
sorry,
what I mean.
we're busy on all fronts. We didn't have time to worry about one thing.
Busy on all fronts in the Europa League, playing in Azerbaijan.
We competed in 2 out of 4 competitions. We never. I think we played in Azerbaijan once.
How many managers are you going to go?
Which
to
it was the
and
Real
have
Madrid of
same-
Azerbaijan. Have it right, okay?
Here's the thing.
This guy said the Real Madrid of Azerbaijan.
How many managers are you going to go through and have the same reaction at the end of the season of like, we didn't back him, until you decide, you know what? If you're never going to back him, well, let me get a fucking manager that doesn't necessarily need to be backed. And that's Thomas Frank.
Right.
He works with what he has.
So you're saying to just lay down and accept what I've always been given. Cool. Good to know where you stand in Prison Break. Guess what? Not me. I'm looking for justice. I'm looking for what's right. I'm looking for a better day. But you're like, no, they feed us oatmeal in the mornings.
Bro, you live in the
and chicken
United
feed
States.
at night.
Stop pretending like justice always prospers. Like, let's be realistic. You want to be reality?
Batman don't
be
give a
realistic.
fuck. Batman don't give a
Justice
fuck.
wasn't always proper.
Factually,
it wasn't
Batman never
justified
gave a fuck.
that fucking Mauricio Pochettino got sacked after he got you to a fucking final. It's not justified that fucking Jose Mourinho got sacked the day before he was about to play a fucking final. Your team is nothing but fucking justice. So get over yourself, bro. You're
So
gonna
that's
have a
why I
manager
tried
that's
to
gonna have
bring
to
the justice. Why are you yelling
able-
about Tottenham, first of all? Second of all, why did we make you so upset? And third of all, I'm telling you that is exactly what I'm fighting against. So you're saying to just accept something that I think is wrong. That's what you're saying.
fine.
Then you're screaming at me about it, actually, that I should accept that.
But you're saying,
Why?
like, let's fight against,
Jacob, if I
let's
remember.
be justice and fight against this.
Yes,
like, bro,
because
you're not
everything
gonna
you
fight
said was right.
Daniel
No,
Levy.
but Marshall, everything you said was right in that regard.
Yes.
We failed all those managers. Pochettino, we failed him, but that doesn't negate the fact that he failed to win as well. No one
Yes.
told him to play Sonny at left wing back in a final. Nobody told him to bring Kane on no rest. You know what Ange did? He fucking said, "Captain, you're sitting on the bench." Because guess what? You ain't 100%. That's something Pochettino could not do. And guess what? We paid the price for it. We could talk about hypotheticals and figuratives and imagination, but the facts are he played Harry Kane, who was not playing before that, who was literally watching the semifinal from his fucking living room because he was hurt, and then he started him in a final over a guy who just had a hat trick. That is factual evidence, and he fucking lost, and he failed to win any other finals he got us to. This is what I'm talking about. He got us to relevancy with vibes, but not a damn winning trophy at all. Before 2.5 weeks ago, the best moment is that Champions League final that we fucking lose because we got to the dance. But what is the point of sport? What is the point of competition? To
Win
be
trophies.
the best, to
Yeah, to
win
win.
what
Yeah,
you
I
can.
agree. Yeah.
And you know what? Last year we competed on 2 out of 4 competitions that we can compete in. And one of those 4 we're never going to win. It's not our bread and butter. It's our bread and butter. That's all I hear. Bread and butter. That bread and butter is stale and melted.
Unfortunately, I think the biggest issue is the fact that it was a risk to bring him back the next season, and the chance that maybe next season the 3 teams that get promoted aren't as shit as the teams that got promoted this season, and maybe you go through that same exact season, players get hurt. Which, by the way, I don't put the players getting hurt completely on Ange, because it would have happened the first season as well. The fact that it happened the second season, I think that's also part to do with the medical team, right? But
Wait, but Marshall,
that aside- wait, let me land my point. Let me land my point before you start waffling.
Let him land.
My point being is that as a businessman that Daniel Levy is, I get why he didn't give him the second season, because if these teams, who got promoted? Leeds got promoted.
Leeds, Sunderland,
Sunderland, right? If these teams aren't as shit as the teams like Ipswich, fuck, you know what teams I'm talking about. Yeah,
So we're doing a
Southampton.
fantasy hypothetical. Just want to make sure we're not doing a factoid here, because
It's also
you're
a fantasy
talking about
hypothetical
teams
to assume
being
that he
something
goes
that is
in
a-
next
is
season
an
and does
imagination.
better.
What if I have a 6-pack and $1 million in my bank account and I drive a Bugatti? Okay, cool. That's fun
Even
imagination
after you
playtime.
guys won a trophy, you'd still fail to win games in the Premier League. The Premier League is your bread and butter.
Because we were focused on the glory that we got, and we got it.
Sure. And mind you, I would have given him until the Super Cup to decide whether or not I'm going to sack him. But they didn't do that, right? Whatever. It is what it is. However, I do understand the sacking of him, because maybe this time you get me relegated, bro, because you were so shit in the league. I think Thomas Frank, maybe he doesn't necessarily win your trophy this season, but I can see with the team he has, the youngsters that you have as well, he can develop them into beasts, and you guys can't be in that conversation. The conversation doesn't matter. It's the end result that matters, right? But I think he does put you in the better direction, and you could potentially win another trophy.
This is what I'll say.
Okay, the
This
last
is
part is
why I
where
got
you
some
absolutely
Thomas
just drove the car off of the tracks, because I don't see that happening.
listen, I don't
but
wanna
again,
believe
that's
it,
just
but-
my opinion and my feelings. It's my, imagination, so to speak.
Corey,
But
Corey,
again,
The thing, sorry, because
no, let Corey go. Let Corey go.
I'm about to say, this is what I'll say like about Thomas Frank, right? Like, it's very obvious Daniel Levy's just like gone back to like his default. Like, it's very obvious that like the league is very much more important to him, obviously, because higher up you finish, you get more of this. So it's very obvious that he's gone, he's looked at it, and he's like, you need someone who can get him back up to like the upper ends of it, or at least like the top 6 and nowhere near like 17th and all that. So I think like in terms of like when you look at like the way Daniel Levy is going, like the way he's looking, Thomas Frank is probably like really good for that, because like Marshall said, he can get out of the players that he's given if he's not given everything that he wants in the transfer window.
such a good yes man. So obedient.
Yeah, but like, what's it called? Yes man manager, yes man club. So low key kind of fits. So you know
That's what I'm
My yes
saying,
man-
because
my yes
like
man
that's
won
why
me
it
a
makes
trophy.
sense. That's why it makes sense for Marshall and Arsenal fans. I'm sorry, Corey. I forgot your name. Corey.
It's
you
Corey.
got it, bro. Yeah.
Sorry, but that it makes sense, and I understand why y'all would feel as though this is the shoe that fits us, because it has always been the shoe that's fit us. My point is, I'm tired of these goddamn shoes.
No,
I need
exactly.
some
Jacob, I'm
motherfucking
not saying this is
stilettos.
like Jacob, I'm not saying this is like the right thing to do, but like in terms of like the way y'all are run, in terms of who is the main man, in terms of like y'all's like future managers, players, Thomas Frank is exactly what you would need, because he can get the best out of the players he's given, and he'll slowly climb you guys up the league, because that's what he did with Brentford. And obviously Levy has looked at that and he's going,
I'm looking
okay.
forward in 2 years to finishing top 8. That's gonna be so fun, because not like I experienced that for 10 fucking years.
No, but obviously, yeah, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but in terms of Daniel Levy's vision and like the way he looks at it, this is like the perfect fit for y'all.
Yeah, I agree. I think Thomas Frank is going to solidify you guys, especially on the
In the
back end.
era.
He's going to get a lot. He's going to get a lot more out of the players than Ange did. At least going backwards. He's
You know
gonna
what it
play,
is, yeah.
You're gonna like Jacob. I think you're gonna like his football. I'm not gonna lie. I think you're gonna like the results.
I know. I've liked watching his football whenever
Terrible
we fucking
football,
whoop his ass, because I can show you the fucking numbers. I got them right here on a goddamn photo if you want to see them. It's very simple.
I think the thing
It's
about
4 times that he's played my worst ever manager, my worst ever. Oh, Yeah, but look at this. I mean, these numbers. Hang on, let me hide trash can Tommy. These numbers don't lie. These numbers don't lie. Fact: 2-0. Oh, you're gonna love his football. Fact: 3-1, 2-2, 3-2, 2-2. That's his best. A goddamn ballerina. A 2-2.
Jacob, you were crashing out every time you lost a fucking game this season in the league, but he's gonna prevent you from doing that now.
Yeah, you're
going to be a more pragmatic.
Let me tell you. You're failing to understand the part where I said I'm fine if you want to sack Ange Postecoglou for getting 17th, but you got to go get better. You can't go backwards to 2011 and get a guy because, but he's unproven, but so is Poch, and he might be able to get us back into vibes.
Who else would come in?
Jacob,
no. I'll tell you what, because all I hear is how big of a club we're supposed to be, but big clubs like Chelsea, they go grab your fucking manager. Big clubs go take your fucking manager. So go do that. Money talks. I don't care what you say. Inzaghi will go where the money went. You could have. There's a resume. He at least gets the finals and loses. That's something Frank doesn't do. Poch does that. So there's a positive there. Glasner has a CV of winning. He has shown that he can win with a Crystal Palace, whom again is like a Brentford. They came up and they have been just a solid mid-ass team.
Would you have been
so Roy Hodgson? I ain't hyping him up.
They brought in Glasner. Would you have been pissed?
Yes.
If they brought in Glasner?
No, I wouldn't have been pissed. I'd been very, very happy. Or not very happy. I'd have been okay with it. I would have been okay with it.
You would have been okay with it just because he won an FA Cup.
And he won a Europa with Frankfurt.
Oh, okay.
There's accomplishments on his accomplishments page. That's that simple. I look at Ange's and I have to scroll to look at all his accomplishments. I go to Frank's, you think the internet went down.
All right, so the thing is, about Thomas Frank, that this is what I wanted to say. In an era where I feel like we have managers which are just too system focused, right? I think he's like a perfect manager to have for a football club. A guy that's very adaptable, naturally can change styles when needed, knows how to change, how to be proactive, how to be reactive, right? And I think for the players that you have and the players you may potentially bring in, I think he's very effective at doing that. I do think under Thomas Frank, you'll finish comfortably in the top 6, and don't be surprised, if you actually do go in a good run in terms of silverware, but the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. I feel like we live in an era where a lot of these managers that we are targeting, the amount of trophies they're gonna have in the cabinet is gonna be very little. Because much like with centre backs, you're in an era where you've got the guys that are the top of the trophies are in a limited amount, right? And then you've got a bunch of managers that are unknown quantities right now. That's all it is. And listen, I get Ange left, but and I'll say this again. I think it's best for him to have left Spurs. He probably do well somewhere else, right? Which is lower profile.
Not probably. He will win wherever he goes. That is a goddamn fact.
But we'll have to see.
The one thing I will not.
No, we don't have to see.
Ange is that Europa League will do him good. Like people will, other clubs will look at that.
Somebody will hire him. Of course.
Yeah. Dude, you know how many people are going to prop him up because he brought a trophy to the most notoriously trophyless big club, quote unquote big. You couldn't see the air quotes because I'm showing you Thomas Frank's fucking results, but I was air quoting big club. So we're the fucking laughing stock. Wore a fucking trophy, Tottenham. Tottenham never win a trophy. Papa John's, the shittiest pizza you can buy on God's green earth, is talking about, it's been so long since we've delivered a pizza. Fuck your Papa John's, fuck your Domino's, fuck your Pizza Hut. All of them can go fuck themselves. DiGiorno's better and cheaper.
Nah, it's facts.
DiGiorno's pretty good.
No, but what Ahmed said, I know Ahmed joking. He said RB Leipzig, but I actually feel like a Bundesliga club.
No, he's actually not. This is not me. This is not me joking on. He's gonna go to RB Leipzig because they need a manager. He actually suits the way they play football as well.
I feel like he suits the Bundesliga as a whole, bro. Pure attacking, pure attacking football.
That's true.
Defensively, it's not really you don't see a lot of Bundesliga teams that are solid defensively. I feel like a Bundesliga club would Bundesliga job would actually be good for him.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be great when Sesko has to score goals under Postecoglou.
Because we're not getting Sesko. We're not getting
a striker.
Yeah, it's
we're not getting a striker.
If you're ever watching American Waffle, bro, please go to Saudi. Go get that bag.
Yeah, go get that bag for sure. No, you know what? And that's a perfect segue here because we've been talking about Ange and
go get the
Spurs
bag. Make
for a
sure the
while.
lining in the trash can's filled, Thomas. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Are you gonna give me a piece of dog biscuit?
More
Thank
like
you, sir.
dog.
Nah,
feel
the
like he's
dog
more like
breathing, bro,
Dobie, you
the
know?
dog breathing is killing me.
Keep smashing the likes.
Bro,
while I
he's
get
gonna have a
angry
collar
about
on. It's
us
gonna have
signing
that
Kepa.
little golden cockerel dangling, and it's gonna be like ding,
Yeah,
like
but
a little
you
bell.
guys can
Oh,
make it
Thomas
work.
is coming around. Here comes Thomas. Ding, like a little
Jacob
cat.
needs a career in the comedy, man. Jacob would be a great
Jacob
comedian.
needs to
Bro.
go in the waffle.
Yeah, because my life is
know
a
what I mean?
fucking joke in sports. I know.
No, like I feel like the
Every team I
ability-
support is a goddamn joke, bro. And I didn't choose it. I mean, I technically kind of did,
Violin.
but fuck.
Bro, I'm a
Come on.
Trailblazers fan. What are you talking about? We haven't won a championship since '77.
Like, my sports life isn't that bad, man. This is beautiful. I'm saying.
What is that?
Hold on, let me see if I can. That
Is
Is that
What
a
is that?
Geno Smith jersey?
No, it's Devontae
No,
Smith. This
that's
is
Devontae
Devontae
Smith.
Smith, bro.
Okay.
Super Bowl
Crazy.
champion.
I'm saying, like, my Arsenal season stunk. I want something this year, boys.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Are you
this-
actually an Eagles fan? Are you actually an Eagles fan?
Fly, Eagles, fly, man.
That's crazy.
It's crazy
That's
how many
actually
Eagles
nuts.
fans start showing their head after like what 2015
Nah, what's
I
it
could
called?
never
My mom-
share a
no,
fan.
no, but
I
my
could
shit
never
is
share a
local.
fan base. I could never
shit
share
is
a fan base with a team with a fan base that eats like horse shit in the streets. That's literally what Eagles
about
fans
Philly
did after they won a
Philly
Super Bowl.
cheesesteak is great. Don't be disrespecting Philly cheesesteak like
No,
that.
I'm talking about literally Philadelphia Eagles fans eating horse shit after they won.
Yeah, but that's like judging a whole city like Buffalo just because they like to jump on tables.
Philly sucks.
I think there's a distinct difference between Bills Mafia and people eating horse shit at the Eagles parade.
Nah,
Bills
Mafia. Is different.
Mafia.
Like as a fan base, Bills Mafia is different. Like they're crazy.
Yeah, Bills Mafia is actually nuts. But anyway,
Could you imagine
let's
if
get
they
back-
actually won a trophy and then they were like
Oh
shot Old Yeller in the back of the head? Huh. Yeah, that's what we did.
Oh my god.
All right, moving on. I have a question for Chelsea. Why? Why do you have to keep giving us your trash? Why do we keep buying it? We're bringing in Kepa
TJ,
when
I
we
think you
didn't
got
need it.
PTSD, bro.
If
I'm
listen,
so
no,
angry.
listen, TJ. If
And
the issue
Arsenal
is,
fans are okay with this. Arsenal
are.
fans are okay with this, by the way.
Just
No, they are,
accept
they are,
it,
they
bro.
are, they
He's
are.
gonna
All I
come in
heard-
and he's gonna
that's
just
all I
fight
got
us with what he's
in the
got.
fucking
Fuck
Beater
off.
Lounge
Accept
group
it.
chat is, oh TJ, he's a great fucking backup.
for
Five
$5 million, yeah, for $5 million.
Put fucking Tommy Setford in there. Setford is a goalkeeper of the future. But no, you're gonna put him out on loan like you put fucking Carl Hein out on loan.
Just
We're gonna
accept
go
it,
out and we're gonna
TJ.
he's Spanish.
He does
he's
the best
Spanish,
with what
guys.
he's
It's okay,
got.
guys. He's Spanish. And I swear
I think
Kepa's gonna do the best with what he's got,
TJ, you know what it is,
It's okay.
TJ. The issue is, I think a lot of fans are looking at it like in isolation, right? Like, oh, the deal itself is not that bad, right? Oh, it's only 5. The issue is you're continuing the precedent where you look at the bargain bin at Chelsea and continue buying.
It's just
It's a
crazy,
fifth
bro.
keeper in 4 windows.
Dude.
It's a
Yeah.
fifth keeper
It
in
is violent,
4
bro.
fucking
This guy averages a
windows.
goalkeeper every summer.
Wait, what happened to that?
Sack
Wait,
him.
no, wait, that's
Sack him
true.
now.
Wait, that's true. What happened? Wait, what happened to that? What happened to that Neto guy? That's so true. What happened to the Neto guy?
Dude,
Told you.
Neto,
He had his
Neto,
game against
Neto,
Girona, never
he was,
seen again.
he sucked,
5
dude. No,
keepers in 4 windows
Against-
we've purchased. That includes Rhea.
he should never play football at a professional level ever again. Neto, I don't want to see that guy anywhere near a fucking Premier League team. That guy,
But TJ, he
That-
just does the best with what he's
Thanks,
got.
Daryl.
Give him a break.
bro.
Nah, but this is what I say on that
Our
TJ.
transfers- our
TJ, I'll
transfer
be
thing
real.
is a joke.
No, TJ, I'll be real. I think you're just suffering from a bit of the PTSD, bro. Like, I'll just be honest. I think it's just because like it's from Chelsea. I feel like if this was any other club, like and kept out like the exact same career, I feel like it wouldn't be like.
No. We don't need a keeper. I don't give a fuck if it's Kepa or if it was Buffon coming out of fucking.
We
retirement.
have a locker
don't
room
need
full
a
of fucking
keeper.
keepers.
We need a striker. We need 2 strikers. We need Sesko, Goikarez, and we need a winger. We need Rodrigo. We need a Zubamendi as for depth, but we really need someone better in midfield. Give me Marcos Llorente. Give me somebody. We don't need another keeper in any way, shape, or form. And for them to come out and say, oh, it's a $5 million deal is, again, Arsenal PR hyping up the fucking 20% fan base that still sucks Arteta's ass, and everybody else has seen the writing on the wall. This fan base hasn't been united since the Madrid wins. And even after that, there's nothing. I'm not going after you, Corey, but I'm saying is we don't need a keeper, bro. That's the last position we need. That's the
True.
last position. I mean,
No, I do.
That-
That was a good
Benny,
joke.
Benny,
I do
Benny,
hear
I
you
got to
in
address
terms
this.
of, like,
Benny,
because
Benny, we
you
don't
have,
do
like, high-end
business.
shit, bro.
Done with
Benny,
it.
Benny, we don't do business until the end of the window, and then we're gonna end up signing up, doing another fucking
Sterling,
Sterling on loan situation.
Benny,
And
I'm
this is
telling
what
you,
this is
bro.
what pisses me
He's
off.
right.
Like we are literally starting off.
You haven't
this
seen the
window
best
Doing
of
the
him,
best with
man.
what you
Listen,
got,
don't
guys.
say his
Being
name, bro. Stop
being
playing.
linked
Doing the
to
best with what we got, guys.
Alexander Garnacho and fucking Rodrigo, which is never gonna happen, by the way.
Nico
I don't know
Williams
what
It's like a
ain't
race
gonna
to
happen.
see who doesn't sign
Nico
Garnacho. It's like
Williams.
Russian roulette with that guy. Chelsea's
It is.
like,
It is. It
"Ah!"
is. Stop.
Like,
It really
okay.
is,
And
bro.
then Arsenal, "Ah!"
The fact,
Keep that guy
the
away
most
from me,
this
please.
club. You were talking about being embarrassed by your club, Jacob. I'm embarrassed by my club every fucking off season and during the
That's
season
true.
because
Yeah.
of
That's
who
true.
we get
That's true
linked
for
to
TJ.
immediately. We get linked to Garnacho.
Wouldn't a
Wait, we
European
already
trophy
have
help
bum
with your
wingers
pain,
on the
though?
left.
I would rather have Rashford.
No.
I would rather have fucking
I would rather
Rashford.
have-
Nah,
I would
real
rather
shit.
have
I'll take
Rashford
Rashford in a heartbeat if it means
That's actually
Garnacho
kind of
doesn't
crazy.
touch
Now
this
that I
club.
think
Yeah,
about it, Spurs got
exactly.
a striker before Arsenal. got
Do
a
not
striker.
let
Yeah.
that Argentinian Backstreet
Bro.
Boy anywhere near my fucking club. Period.
It was
Period.
so peak. I swear. I
You
would
talking
have
about
taken
Sesko?
Solanke. I would have
Are you
taken
the one
fucking
that's
Dominic
talking about
Solanke
Garnacho? It's the
over this
Argentinian
fucking
back
donkey
three.
Havertz we have right now. And in fact,
True.
here's the thing. Here's the thing that we talk about a lot. I think we've talked about this on the American Idiots too, TJ. If we get a striker, that puts fucking Havertz in their midfield. Because he's going to play this.
It's
He's
true.
going to play this fraud no matter what. So we
no
get
way,
Sesko.
bro.
It's going to put fucking. You know it's going to be Havertz at left mid.
Tell
It's
me
going to be
why.
Rice in the 6, and it's going to be fucking Ghost-Odegaard in the 8. And I've even made the suggestion to drop Odegaard, put Zubamendi in there, because what does the creativity get us anyway? Well, when he was a striker who could run onto a three ball through the channel.
Zubamendi
I don't
isn't
need
even.
the fucking flicks and tricks and the looping the ball to the fucking far post bullshit. We need a player that can play a through ball through the fucking channels and just put it in the back of the net. It's that fucking simple because the channels are there. They can get created with the right striker. But sometimes that's why Odegaard ain't it. If we get fucking Sesko, Goikarez, fucking Osherman, as long as Odegaard is still in there, it's the same bullshit. Because low blocks will not stop against Arsenal. And another thing, Jacob, you gotta be lucky because Thomas Frank will defend more too. So
He'll
you're
defend,
gonna-
period. He'll defend, period.
Oh, they conceded one less goal than Tottenham. They defend so
Right.
Solomon-
well.
Solomon,
Now fans
big
are
up
twerking
Solomon
for
for the
Nathan
super chat.
Collins.
It's
Oh,
Ruben Mendy, like,
Nathan
Super
Collins
Bowl
can
Super
replace Romero. Hee.
yeah, true.
Jeez
That's
Louise.
the
Yeah,
squad.
and watch
He just does the
watch
best
Dal-
of what he's
Dal-
got. Hee.
Dal, now that Marino scored that goal, scored that worldie a couple of days ago,
Yep.
he's gonna think that he doesn't need a striker. He's gonna move freaking Marino up to the 9.
Listen, no, TJ.
Like I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I
I'm
wouldn't.
not surprised
I'll tell
either.
you this right now, bro. If we don't sign a striker this summer, I'm being so for real. Put Marino up front for the whole season. I'll be so real.
I'm-
No, you don't have
with
to be
you.
so for real. He's gonna do it. You don't have to be for real. He's going to do it for
I'll
you.
take Marino up front if it means Kyle Havertz does not have to play there, bro.
Bro, I would have him. I would put Martinelli up front and just put Waneri on the left.
You
I
guys
would
should
do
just
that
support
too.
your manager.
Bro, I've been saying,
Okay? Just support your manager and all the
Just
decisions.
back the
That's
gaffer,
it.
man. Just back the
Back
gaffer,
it
bro.
all. Just get right behind it. Back it up like
One at a
Missy
time, one at a
Elliott
time.
music video.
Listen, bro. When we lost all our strikers, when Havertz and Jesus dropped down, when I seen that, when that first before the Leicester game, when it came out that Marino was gonna be like the backup plan, when I found out that it was not gonna be Martinelli, I was like, yeah, this guy is gonna be like in terms of like Arsenal career, like the way he's going, it's finished, bro. If he was just gonna stay out on that left, it was done because I don't
He's
know how
gonna
you
do the
take
same
someone-
thing. He's gonna
Bro,
do
he
the
literally
same thing
came
to
this club as
Waneri
a
too,
9.
by the way.
Literally, he came to this club as a 9. The fact that we had all of our strikers down and he opted to put a midfielder in there instead of someone who signed for this club as a striker, bro, let alone another forward player, is ridiculous to me, bro.
Good
Yeah.
time. The whole thing's crazy.
But let me ask you a question, boys. Yeah, let me ask you a question.
War
Listen,
trophy.
Arteta, man, I think he's got a great eye for goalkeepers, centre backs. So why are you not trusting the process in that regard?
Was that a question?
He's such a troll, man.
He says that we've improved.
Yo, someone get on the
defense
burner
so much.
again, put him back in there, bro. I swear.
And why aren't
Yeah,
we
facts,
trusting
bro.
this process though? Because, bro, I've been waiting for the process since the 2003-2004 season.
But I mean, can I also make the argument though? Listen, people can hate on Odegaard all they want, but apparently you've got a guy called Waneri there. So then, listen, why are you worried about that? You can just switch Odegaard out, bring Waneri into the equation.
Well, that's the problem because Odegaard is a yes man to Arteta, and that's the thing. Just like Zinchenko.
Waneri no yes man, then can you not make Waneri a yes man?
He will,
think whether
one
he
year,
do it,
one year he will
regard.
be, one year he will leave the club before he's 20.
Or he gets the talent coached out of him. Look at what he did to Aubameyang. Why was he playing left wing back?
Yeah. No, I'm telling you,
Right?
this is why I can't stand this manager.
Guys,
You
just
literally-
support your club. Gabriel Jesus, when he
literally
signs that new
see-
contract, will be like a new signing.
You
Yeah, man.
literally see Ethan
How many years have I heard that?
Nwaneri go in there and absolutely cook on that wing with Saka out, and he doesn't see the pitch in the last month of the
Back your
season.
gaffer. Back your gaffer,
Like
TJ.
it's,
Yeah, back your
it's
gaffer, man.
absolutely insane to.
Yeah, what is
absolutely
this?
insane
Energy
to me.
switch up.
We saw
Don't
our
worry,
best
he's gonna
player
get you.
youngster.
What were you just garbage throwing at me, TJ? He's gonna get you.
I wasn't
set up,
saying
bro.
anything to you.
You're gonna like the way. You're gonna like the
I
way
said-
Fred
You're gonna-
makes you look. I guarantee you.
I said you're gonna like his defensive acumen.
Oh,
No,
that's
but
what it
in
was. His
reality-
defensive acumen.
In reality, I know that's a joke, Jacob. In reality, he's not even playing like you didn't even give Nathan Obi a chance. We sold our best our youth striker to United, and Chico Obi. He was scoring 6-7 goals a game. I mean, it's peak for the youngsters already because they don't know the feeling of winning anything. This team doesn't know the feeling of winning anything. And then the moment we beat Madrid and we're going off through the semifinals was the most united this fan base has been in years, like literally. So, after, no one I can't imagine anyone on this panel expected us to beat Madrid. And if you did, you're a freaking liar because I thought they were going to trounce us all over the pitch. And when the opposite happens, it starts to get, okay, well, maybe Arteta does have credit in the bank. And then the season dies out like a fucking candle. And then you talk about Gyökeres for the next 3 months. You're talking about Sesko.
And then he's linked to United. And by the way, he's linked to United more strongly than he's linked to Arsenal.
Oh my God! No! I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta cut you off with this whole Sesko shit.
Go.
This is the one thing, bro. This is the one thing that pisses me off about the Sesko shit, bro. And I know this applies to y'all, but ever since I started supporting this club, it's been cheap option. The one
cheap option, project.
Yeah, project and cheap option. Those have been the two main things. The one time we've got a blessing in disguise where we got the cheap option and it's actually the better choice. We're now taking the worse, more expensive one. Like this club this club must have like a thing of like pissing me off, bro. Like I swear they must like.
I'm not gonna lie.
I swear to God, bro.
Last summer,
this is literally the one time we're doing the most expensive, and it's the worst option, bro. When the better one, the miles better one, by the way, miles better than the other option. And he's and he's like a whole like 20-30 mil cheaper, and we're taking the more expensive guy. Why?
Oh, yeah. Because
this is what I mean when I say Arteta runs the dictatorship, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He wants to win his way. That's the thing. Arteta's going to pick players that he can build up to build his resume to say, I build up these players to achieve a trophy. Well, he's the type of manager who we cannot get it over the line. That's my main gripe with Arteta. Sometimes it's the lineups, right? I see the lineups on the weekend. I'm like, shit, we're going to lose. We may end up winning 2-1. Big deal. You guys know it's boring football to watch the last 6 months. We're a club that's starting over again. Not as bad as Tottenham, obviously, but it's like we're starting over again. But then I look over my shoulder and I see Newcastle, Villa, Crystal Palace, and then of course Chelsea. Right? I mean, it's just
y'all win the league if you signed Austin last summer.
Jacob, it's like you should have kept Ange because just because he did shit this season does not mean anything next season. It doesn't mean anything. Finishing 17th, you're still in the Prem. Yeah, it's an awful situation, but the next season doesn't define that. There's no guarantee you're going to be 17th next season, but that's a different subject. The thing is that we've been waiting for a trophy for a long time, and bar the FA Cups. FA Cup's fantastic. But remember, we had to come back 4-0 against Hull in one of those. So, it's like everything with Arsenal seems to balance out, but we never go anywhere because we can never get anything over the line like Chelsea, Liverpool, City. And in fact, Vader just showed up our whole transfer window when he gets 3 players for 130 mil, and we're looking at 90 mil for fucking Sesko. Vader's background owned everybody today. I'm
90
sorry.
million for Sesko is a crime.
I just had to laugh at that, bro. 90 M's, bro.
Because he got 3 top talents for 130 mil.
Funny fact I learned today about Sesko.
Have the best transfer window right now running, and it's not even the fucking 1st of July. So if Liverpool fans, I'm talking to you. You can go get Florian Wirtz all you want, but when he gets crocked in December, who saw him, don't come crying to us. because you spent 140 mil on one player that
Who hurt you?
Wirtz is good, but he ain't proven yet. And either of these other City guys, but I mean, 130 mil for these three players is fucking top business.
But Ait-Nouri's proven. You can't say Ait-Nouri's not proven. He's
Bro,
proven
Ait-Nouri,
he's one of the better
bro,
left backs
I'm gonna
in
be
the
with
league
you though.
last year.
Ait-Nouri got I will say though about Ait-Nouri, bro. Ait-Nouri got cooked by Madueke, bro. So I don't know about that.
Defensively,
Okay, one game doesn't define a player, by the way.
No, I agree, but
just
like
ask Brennan
defensively, he's a bit sus, bro. Let's not act like
he
he's
kind of
an
reminds me
amazing
of Frank
defender,
Wong in
bro.
that sense, bro. Like he's way better going forward than he is like.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
bro.
you're not signing Frimpong. You're not signing Frimpong to get better defensively. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Also, I want to say this about Sesko. Hugo Strand-Larsen scored more goals in the Premier League, the league that we all play in, than Sesko did in the Bundesliga last year, which is crazy.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Hugo Strand-Larsen.
Have I not called for Strand-Larsen on our show? Did I not call for Strand-Larsen?
I'm a big fan of Strand-Larsen.
I called for Strand-Larsen in January.
Don't disrespect Strand-Larsen now. Larson's shown he can get it done now in the Premier League Sesko style.
He's better than Solanke.
Whoa. Doesn't have as many trophies, I can say that.
He does not.
Wore a trophy.
Fair enough.
I forgot my response. I'm trying to make it my standard response. Wore a trophy. Hugo
How did
Strand.
Jacob forget his standard response, bro?
You see Ange? You see what Ange is lifting right now? Double trash can.
One thing I wanted to say about Sesko is that listen, I think my issue when you go for a signing of Sesko is that you need Arsenal are really at the end point right now, right? Arsenal's at the end point. You don't need the Sesko. Sesko right now, bro. He is gonna have to either mega evolve. Yeah, in Pokemon terms, let's get
this
go
guy,
from zero to 70 really fast, yeah. Or the reality is, bro, which is very natural for a young guy. He's probably gonna be a little bit. He's probably gonna get like a nice little 10 goals, 15 goals this season, and then maybe the season after that is when he really cracks on. And by that point in time, you maybe have already lost your window to of opportunity.
Right, but you know what, bro? It's another fucking trophyless season.
And I agree. No, I hear it, bro. Yeah.
That's the point, though, right? And I'm not. What you said is 100% true. But as TJ will swear, and I've heard people in the chat who are Gunner fans, Arsenal fans, that it doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is, I don't care about building Sesko, bro, for next season. If he comes to Chelsea, he hits the ground running. He comes to Arsenal. Oh, we got
no, he doesn't.
Striker.
By the way,
I know maybe Sesko. You don't think Sesko hits the ground running at Chelsea? If they were to buy him,
he'll probably look like a baby giraffe being born. They kind of hit the ground running.
I don't know if he'll run.
He can run, bro. And here's the other thing about I'm not bigging up Sesko, but I can kind of see why we're looking at him, and I can kind of see. I think United, a couple other clubs.
I'm not gonna let y'all glaze Nick for saying some egregious shit in the chat that I wasn't gonna have to bring up until TJ pulled it up. But he saw plenty of average players win trophies. They do, but they usually leave Tottenham to do that. But guess what? Not this year, buddy. So tell me how many average players won trophies at Tottenham, buddy? Oh, Prim.
None.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, go back to I forgot my point.
I don't even know what were we talking about before.
Sesko.
He will not hit
the
the ground
strengths,
running.
obviously we know the strengths.
He'll just hit the ground.
He's 6'5". He can get his head on the ball.
NBA
He's actually
player.
very quick and lanky. There is some skill there. I'm not going to deny that. And if he comes in, I'll be like, okay, great, we got our striker. But what's the next plan, right? But with Gyökeres, it's like, okay, here's someone 102 goals in 2 seasons. The proof is in the pudding. The data's there. Like this, I just think that Sesko will take time to adapt, and that changes our style of play. Are we buying Sesko?
Told me something today.
Are we buying Sesko just for the low block? Because TJ
when you start here's the
thing. Into low block. Is that what Sesko's for? Is for one thing and one thing only?
Hey Jacob, when you start a sentence with Eagles told me this today,
I just want to know where y'all stand. I just want to know where y'all stand with this notion, because he made it out to seem that there's a reason big clubs are not more serious about Victor Gyökeres or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
And that's why y'all haven't pulled the trigger and you're looking at Sesko instead. So I'm asking you, have y'all seen something goals in Victor? he finds the back of the net too much. He got lower back issues grabbing that ball out the net.
How can this?
I actually hope he goes
Jeez,
I don't
Louis.
rate him.
The thing about Gyökeres, and I'm going to be very objective about Gyökeres, the Liga NOS tax is very crazy on him, right? Again, from recent history in terms of strikers, he's not looking great. If you just look at him objectively as well, 39 goals he's got. He plays really well on the transition. The way that a lot of the top teams play these days isn't on the transition, bro. Because the vast majority of the teams you're going to be facing are low block teams. So then he's going to have to change his game, do this sort of thing. So, and also you then got the age aspect of it. He's 26, 27. He's entering his prime. Are you willing to take the risk that a guy that's entering his prime is going to be able to change his game a little unnecessarily to be able to do that for you too? So there's so many, like, I think a lot of negatives with him that it's very hard for me to see a way for other clubs, even an Arsenal, whether it be a Chelsea and a lot of these other clubs, to make it work. He may work in Italy because sadly Italy, they make every striker look great. They made Tammy Abraham look great. They made Belotti look great.
They made Lukaku look great.
Yep. Yeah.
No. I want to hear why Marshall doesn't rate Gyökeres. I want to hear this bullshit.
Well, it's pretty much going along the lines of what Ahmed was saying, dude. Like, you guys forget pretty recently there was a really highly touted striker that was.
He's not everybody is Darwin Nunez.
Bro, he's not a Darwin Nunez.
All right,
There's
cool.
also Bernardo Silva that went on
name
trophies with City that was pretty from the Portuguese league.
Let's name the last guy that was really highly touted. It was a different time. Don't do that. It was a totally different time. Let's go to the last guy that was a prodigy that came out of Liga Nos. João Felix, how's he doing? If you guys want a striker, there's a striker out there. Listen, if I'm gonna take my bias,
I'm not buying Nico Jackson from you.
I'm not saying
I'm not buying the Nunez argument.
I'm gonna say if you want a striker that's worth the money and it's gonna give you something in the long term, go for Samuel Meridian. He went to Liga Nos and he kicked off too, and he probably has more potential than Gyökeres.
Who?
What?
Samuel Meridian.
You're saying
the guy who played for Porto. The guy who played.
I would take him. I would take him. Yeah. I would take the cat at Atletico Madrid too. I get what you're saying. The Nunez. I mean, my answer to that is Nunez is from Uruguay. Nunez, plays.
But Dal, even like Ahmed will tell you, Dal, like even Samu struggled in La Liga. He goes to Liga Nos, and all of a sudden he's prolific. It tells you something about the league.
Right.
I'm not taking that reason.
Before I let you go, let me give you this example right now. Samuel Meridian was playing for a La Liga side that was in a relegation battle, right? Deportivas. He scored 9 goals, and all of them basically came in the first half of the season for him. The rest of the season, the second half and the middle bit, he struggled quite heavily. He then goes to La Liga Nos, scores 19 goals for Porto, right? Now, if we remove the goals that Gyökeres
how old is he again, Ahmed?
I'm gonna get there. But if you remove the goals that Gyökeres has from penalties, right? And so because he doesn't take penalties, so I think it's a lot more fairer if you do non-pen goals to non-pen goals. He scores something like 28, Gyökeres, and Samuel scored 19. That's why, and again, Samuel is only 20 years old. I don't know if I'm mistaken. That's the point I'm looking at. Like, if a guy that I was rating personally, but a lot of other fans were saying was too young, trash, is doing that 19 goals in a La Liga side that he was struggling the season before, it does have to give you warning signs, bro. And I don't like
age of 20 with no penalties.
Those comparisons of every league. We thought Giroud from
but then somebody. But what I will say though about Gyökeres though is there no red flags though that like every other top team who needs a striker is treating him as second or third option? Like there's no red flags about that.
Liverpool need a striker. Why aren't they going for him?
He's linked.
Barcelona, no, but that's my whole point. But the thing is, hold up.
Barcelona are not prioritizing getting a striker.
They are not.
Stop. What I'm saying, why are we saying stop? When my whole point is, there have been links, but for almost everybody, bar United, he is second or third choice in line. There is no pause for you in that? Zero.
No,
not really.
For me, from watching Arsenal for so many years and still having that, from what Arteta's trying to do, it looks like it's play that up tempo, was it Gengen pressing or whatever the fuck it is. The way we play is if we can get the ball to Gyökeres, he can go around a defender. Havertz cannot dribble around a defender. Moreno cannot dribble around a defender. Sesko has difficulties dribbling around a defender. Yeah, you'll find YouTube clips of him in and out, scoring some great goals for RB Leipzig. Again, I'm not saying Sesko's shit, but when I see Gyökeres put up 102 goals in 2 seasons, I don't give a fuck if he's from Kaiser Chiefs or from the Kazakhstan league. No, I do give a shit about that. No, but the thing is,
I just
the
can't
Real
believe,
Madrid
I just
from
can't believe how
Azerbaijan.
much shit.
as many as crap players as come from the Portuguese league, there's many crap players that come from France, Italy,
The
etc.
disrespect of the Portuguese league too is actually
Wait,
crazy.
No, it's not. Time out. Listen. I'm gonna give you a better example of this the Portuguese league. The Portuguese league in general, in my personal opinion, produces great midfielders and great centre backs. Goalkeepers, again, it's a mixed bag in terms of like the top, right? But really, if you are in Portugal, those are the 2 type of guys you go for: the midfielders and the defenders, right? In terms of an attacking standpoint, right? They've had some guys, but realistically, they've not had that many great, out and out guys. My thing about the striker position is that I agree with you. If I look at Germany, if I look at what's it called, Liga Nos, they are above the team to me. So you won't hear me like do the same prop that would. If I'm gonna quit Portuguese league, I'm gonna also quit the Bundesliga. I think if you look at then the other leagues, Italian league, I've always said before, that's a Fugazi league. Let's make every striker look good there because they display.
Italian league was known for defending, right? The Italians are known for defending, so that would be my counterpoint to that. But
if you look at recent history, I would that's why I would disagree with you.
Right. There's not many Maldinis anymore, is there?
No, but this is the thing with the whole going back to but this is the other thing about the Gyökeres thing, right? We need someone who's ready now. Like that's not main thing. We need someone who's ready now. Sesko's not ready now. When Marshall's talking about Meridian, like that's not already now. Like whether you could be good in the future, we need someone now, bro. Someone.
Let me ask you this question,
next
Corey.
season.
Let me ask you this question, Corey. You're bringing Gyökeres. You know the way he plays. Do you truly believe, Mr. Arteta, the guy that does not like to change his tactics unless he's doing something for himself? Is he gonna change his tactics for a striker? Honest question,
bro. You said that way too fast. That's it again.
Sorry, I said if you bring in Gyökeres, is the manager gonna change his tactics to suit Gyökeres' style of play?
Arteta's probably not gonna change his tactics, but who says that Gyökeres can't adapt to it? Like he's not one.
I think it's absolutely crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy. Like you can watch Arteta's tactics. We need somebody to go in there and break lines and run in behind. Like anytime we do that, we're doing it with people that aren't where the number 9 is not their natural position. So they're either caught offside or the ball gets intercepted. You need somebody that is an actual gun. You need somebody that's an actual gunman there. If I had $1 for every time I saw Kai Havertz and fucking Jesus get caught offside, I could buy a very, very nice bottle of bourbon. I'm telling you.
True.
You need somebody that is ready now.
Another thing about getting Gyökeres is that you need someone with a presence, bro. Havertz does not carry no presence in the box. Marino does not carry no presence in the box. Like Gyökeres will carry a presence in the box. Like he will be in there. Defenders will be like, oh shit, we gotta mark him. Players are not gonna be doing that as much if you got Havertz in there or Marino in there. Like that's my main point with it.
Yeah, right. Like I said, if we get Sesko, great. But I see where it's going. Right, it's another project type player. We need a 26, 27-year-old, which is the prime. Gyökeres is the prime age. I'm not in the mood to develop another 22-year-old, and that's the common theme on Arsenal YouTube. I can't speak for anything really outside of that, right? I wish I was at the Emirates every weekend. I'd have more. You talk to Arsenal Aaron, you talk to DJB and Kenny Ken, who are there week in and week out coming up. Especially, they're going to give us their thoughts and their analyzation of Sesko or if it's Gyökeres. But the point is that I think that the Gyökeres links have died. We've heard it more already going United's way, and it's only made sense. I know TJ and I have said this months ago that he would probably go to United anyway because it's his old manager, and United will find a way to get the money no matter what.
What?
With
the money that y'all have available for this Victor Gyökeres deal, why have you not explored the options of Osimhen? Because for me, this is a guy, like y'all saying about the Italian league,
his wages.
It's notorious.
His wages are nuts, bro.
His wages are like $350, bro.
Bro, he just said no to Saudi Arabian wages because he wants to play in Europe.
If you cannot, bro, I'm sorry, bro. His wages, man, are ridiculous, bro. Like we're not gonna we already.
I mean, if you want the best, you gotta pay for the best. If you want the best, you gotta buy it twice off Amazon.
I want Lautaro Martinez, bro. I
Well,
mean,
Lautaro
I want
Martinez,
Marcus
I hope y'all
Thuram.
get him because he will
No.
absolutely be
I was
wank
like,
for
bro,
you.
Nah, I cannot get Lautaro
He will
Martinez,
suck
bro.
so
guys are
bad in the
insane.
Premier
You guys
League.
are
I would
insane.
love it for you.
Argentinian school of strikers. Come
But
on now,
I
guys.
legitimately
If you want
felt
Argentinian
like
striker,
last
go
summer,
get me
if y'all
Alvarez.
had got
I'm
a
not taking
striker like
Martinez for you,
Victor Osimhen, that y'all could have won the league this year because it was definitely up for grabs. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like that,
Oh,
the
I
profile of Victor Osimhen is like a complete forward, and he
I
would
think-
absolutely elevate any of our teams.
Right.
100%.
Absolutely.
Jacob, I would take Osimhen like from a player perspective, but like when it, like the whole package when it comes to like his wages, bro, our wage bill
won't do that.
tragic as it is. Last thing I need is someone else on some big boy
Just back
money
your
like
club,
that. It's
guys.
crazy, bro.
Just back
You know,
your
now that
club.
we're
Just back your
being
club.
linked to Julian Alvarez, they want 500 million euros for Julian Alvarez. Is the
No,
price
that's
they
insane.
Put on Julian
That's
Alvarez.
crazy.
That's just his release. That's just his release clause. That's just
I
his
know, but
release.
still, that's what they want people to pay.
Didn't
Yeah,
they put,
that's
like,
they put a
on
billion.
Lamine
They put a
Yamal's
billion. They put a billion on Mbappe, and like the
Right.
whole release clause thing with La Liga is an absolute.
They're just doing that like
They're-
that whole 500 million release cost
like,
is just like a
yeah,
way of
it's-
saying like he's untouchable. Like,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
their eyes.
exactly.
Like
Well,
they
no,
don't actually
and-
respect. It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, and then they can negotiate if he does fall through. Nobody. Honestly, nobody takes those release clauses seriously. Like, when was a top player valued at 500 million or whatever actually had their release clause met?
Oh, right, but they've gone
Like-
for. Well, I think Neymar went for 225, so he went about half that.
That's probably like the only one. And
That's
then
the only
broke the
one.
freaking wage record.
Like-
That one broke the
It
transfer
was
record.
lower. Rubinho went for one, but I think it was lower.
Yeah, I mean that's how we got Thomas Partey through the door too. Like the
Right.
lower level release clauses, like I get it, but nobody's actually doing that. I'm just gonna say this, like we have to go out there and get Gyökeres. And I know people are gonna say it's a gamble, but he's the most complete striker that's actually available to us. And and I understand he's linked with United, and I think if he goes to United, he's probably gonna cook. Like that. This is what really scares me.
I don't
Dude,
think he
He'll be
gets
the
the
Swedish
service.
Hoyland, don't worry.
Dude, I don't
I
think
don't
he's
think he
not the
gets
Swedish
the service.
Hoyland. I think it's absolutely crazy. I think it's
That's
absolutely
so
crazy.
disrespectful.
That's
That's
so
just
disrespectful. It
That's
is.
so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Hey,
How
I'm
did
just
you
saying,
go-
bro. He couldn't cut it in
Jacob?
England. It's the weather, bro. It fucks with people. He couldn't cut it when he was in England, so he had to go to Portugal, where shit's nice, shit's
Bro,
real
he's even
friendly.
like
You got
that. Even
beautiful
actually even
beaches.
adds to it, bro. I'm actually glad Jacob brought that. Bro, he's played in England and he played in the championship, which is like known to be like more physical. So, and I'm pretty sure he got like a decent number of goals down there. So if you can do in the championship, it's a more physical
he's
league,
physically
bro.
a specimen, so like he's gonna do
Oh,
fine
yeah.
physically.
I'm saying, bro, the guy's fucking jacked. Like, come on, bro. So he's like, he's played in England. He's in his
And he's
prime.
quick. He's
just
big
back.
and he's quick.
He's just at 50 goals this season, 40 the year before. Like, I don't know.
Right.
You know what, man?
Literally, where's
You
the
know what,
respect,
man?
bro?
Take the risk, man. Take the risk, man. I love it. Take the risk, please.
Bro, I swear to God, I'll gladly take the risk, bro. It's like a minus 5,000 on my sports book. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Listen, guys, when the fun stops, stop. You know what I mean? Don't gamble. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You know what?
Be very serious.
You know,
with me. I don't gamble, man.
the fact that. Oh my God! All right, whatever. Marshall, is there anything else you want to add before? Oh no, you just said it.
Yeah, today.
Wow.
What was that? I missed all that.
Hey,
I think go to jail.
full imprisonment. Thank you.
The layout always throws it out there. Okay, big up Soccer Junkie. Marshall was being so vocal anyway. You know, like he had so much to add on the subject. Look at that. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not gonna do it. So I don't understand. I'm trying not to get too upset about it because you're gonna have Gabriel Jesus coming back. They're gonna put out the highlight video of him freaking training up, and it's the second return of Christ and all this shit. Like this is what I can't stand about this club is that it will be PR central. It will be ridiculous, and it'll cover up for the fact that we don't get a striker. They're gonna come in and say Gabriel Jesus or Gabriel new signing. We got Gabriel Magalhaes extended. They're gonna milk that for everything that he can.
That's the best signing we've made all summer, bro.
Yep,
dude. It's absolutely insane, and I don't know why I get so upset about it because they've shown you what they are going to do: past behavior informing future behavior. Fuck, Kai Havertz is gonna come back. We can't take him out because we're paying him how much? 230.
We have to make it work because he pays 65.
We have to. Yeah.
Well,
Have
you're
to.
upset about it too, TJ, because you see Man City making moves. Man City says, "Oh, I'll take him." They're like, "Okay." Man City says, "Oh, I'll take him." Okay, and it's just done. It's just done. Like Reinders is done. We know Ryan Cherokee is pretty much done, and whoever was that other third bloke.
Hey,
And the thing is, we may end up with another left back from League Two. Let's we are going the cheap route again because we've spent so much money on Kai Havertz. They're not going to let a $65 million signing sit on the bench, right?
Not when he makes
And
enough
that's the
money
thing.
as well.
If we get a striker, it's going to put him in midfield, sure as shit. And then again, we have that, and then that devolves to a weakness, right? That's if he's a left mid, he runs around, he's going to be chasing Martinelli, hopefully Rodrigo, like a puppy. I think after all this is said and done, the real player we need is Rodrigo. I know that sounds crazy, but
We're not getting Rodrigo.
No, but if there's a chance, if the sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while, and we can get Rodrigo 250 to 260 grand a week, I think you'd consider it. But again, that's wage.
What about Bradley Barcola? Do you not think Bradley Barcola works for you?
I know Barcola.
So
But that's a project, though, too.
It's not really a project. I'll be honest with you. He's not. Listen, he can get you to.
Did you watch him in that? Did you watch him in that final?
Is trash, bro. He's so mid. I'm sorry, bro.
He's decent.
Guy missed two sitters in a final.
He's decent. Like I said, I'm at this point. I want great. I'm not satisfying for Sesko. Like, oh, he's good, or Barcola's decent. And Barcola would just be another kid sitting on the bench. Arsenal needs squad depth as well, right? I mean, we need a striker. We need squad depth. I mean, we need so much. But at least, hey, we're not getting Thomas Frank as a manager, so that's a plus.
Why did you have to say that? Why? I was just propping this guy up. I rate Thomas Frank as a manager. I'm not going back to that.
I think Spurs will be better defensively. I don't think offensively. I think they were better Ange's first season when they thought they were going to win a trophy in November. They were playing some great football. Remember that, Jacob, when you thought you were going to win a trophy in November last year or the year before? So
to that 2023.
To let go of Ange, especially.
I think that's the first.
Oh my God.
I think it's the first time this stream. Best super chat all night.
All right, Marshall. Last topic.
Bale always comes for me, man. Bale always comes for me.
Club World Cup.
Club World Cup, baby. Yeah, where Club World Cup is starting this weekend. It's gonna be exciting to watch. It's a new format. I'm going to 2 of the games.
I was gonna ask, fun. Are you?
That's sick. I'm going to Flamengo and I'm going to Tunis. Big up Jimmy Spliff. We're gonna meet up at the Flamengo game. So that'll be a fun one.
That's the real one.
If you don't know,
beans over toast.
The one and only.
Nah, I seen a clip of Jimmy Spliff and CB arguing today. Yo, that shit.
Yeah, no, he's the GOAT. But no, it's gonna be an interesting one. Right now we got the Maignan deal. We don't know what's gonna happen. If that goes through, then we'll be able to see him at Club World Cup along with Delap. Gittins, I don't know what's happening with that deal, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen by Club World Cup. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this team performs in another competition. And this time it's going to be a much tougher competition once we get past the group stages, right? Because we're going to be up against the likes of PSG, up against the likes of City, Real Madrid, like proper, Champions League teams. And that's something that a lot of Chelsea fans were hesitant about, going into the UCL. Like, if we go into the UCL with this squad, we're not even going to make it out of the league phase, which... time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, this team just won a trophy. They have the taste of silverware, and hopefully we can go far in this competition because it's more money for the club as well. They put $1 billion into the tournament, and that's spread throughout all the different positions. I think the winner of the competition can come out with at least $100 million in prize money, which is a good amount. It's $100 million in prize money.
Hey,
yeah.
Marshall, can I add a little point to that? I just want to point out for Tottenham fans, that's 5 times the amount you guys got for lifting up that trophy. Just want to throw that out.
So
no, well, you know what I don't like about the format though is how shamelessly they threw Inter Miami into it. I think that's such a joke.
Because of Messi, bro. That's
we
it.
could do a whole show on
I think that's such a joke.
I do think as a host nation, that's part of it, but also like.
Oh, it's messy.
Bro, there's
It's
so
not.
many
messy.
other
There-
MLS
It's
messy.
messy.
I said it's part of it. I didn't say it was the whole reason.
And
But-
Messi.
Yeah,
it definitely has to do with Messi, but and they wanted to try to get Ronaldo involved in it too, which didn't work out. But I do think as this format gets more and more, normalized, hopefully they tweak out some of the things, and because I think a lot of people's gripe with it is to how many European teams manage to get in. And how that works and how that's evenly split up between all the other continents. Because you got the likes of Inter in there, Atletico Madrid, PSG, who, if we're talking like, the conference, not the conference, the UEFA power rankings, I think that's what it's called. I forget what the actual term is, right?
That's the name of it.
But,
yeah.
It's based off of that and how clubs get into it and qualify for it. So there might be some tweaks that have to be done in order to see what clubs get into it. But I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited to see the team play next season, second season under Maresca. What have we learned from the first season? What is Maresca going to do into this next season? And how is he going to adapt, take the best out of the attack and the defense that you learned from last season and implement it into a style of play? Vitinha came out in an interview and said about the Luis Enrique, the first season was really establishing the fundamentals, and then adding on to those fundamentals was the second season. So we've established.
I think you guys get third next season if you get Mike Majan in the line in the door.
If we get Mignon, if we get Mignon, I genuinely feel that we
Sanchez literally gave games. Sanchez literally gave games away.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No
If you guys had different goalkeeping than Sanchez, you guys could have probably it could have probably gone to a point where
we would have still been in that conversation, probably. Let's be honest. 'Cause Sanchez, fuck off. you Sanchez is all you now. Sanchez is all you
5
now.
mil is really a big deal.
T-Rex arms, enjoy biscuit wrists, Kepa, man. But in terms of Sanchez,
y'all enjoy watching him in the Carabao Cup.
I think we
for 2 games.
I think with Sanchez, when we did the math at Casually FC, I think we can blame him for about 15 points.
Yeah.
That 15 points would have,
God,
15 points that if we had gotten, and mind you, got to give kudos, he did get better at the end of the season, but our whole defense got better at the end of the season. If we had gotten those 15 points, you look at the table, we're probably a lot closer to Liverpool than Arsenal.
Blaming one individual and saying factually is insane to me, because there's 11 fuckers on the pitch for your team at one given time, and you're blaming because I played goalkeeper and I hated the little pussy cuck mentality that's like, it's all his fault. Sorry, I fucking missed it. Why don't you score more, bitch? Is what I would say.
It's his distribution. Jacob. The guy literally
really
gave it away.
Well,
I was
Literally
actually
gave it
one
to the
game in high
other
school.
team.
So
I was saying
we are
the
goalies for a
And
reason
also, bro,
because we're not
goalkeepers
good at
are
the
one
ball
position
with
where
my
you can,
feet.
Like your mistakes can literally direct.
Me
I
no
know we say,
kickball good.
All performances can cost teams points.
That's
And
how
that
Sanchez
goalkeeper is the
talks.
one position where your mistakes by definition can literally cost
the
you
fuck
points.
you just
Your
said?
mistakes could literally change
That's,
the whole
that's how
result.
Sanchez talks. You imitated Sanchez really well.
I was doing like a caveman. Me no
Me
kickball
no
good.
Kickball
Me
good.
no kickball good.
Colwell. Colwell
It's like
tackle Colwell.
I sympathize
Colwell,
with.
why? Why cry, Colwell? Colwell.
Like, sounds like a Native American.
We just got canceled. Thanks, Marshall. Appreciate that.
Marshall looks like a Native American, so he's all right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus
no.
Christ, they're not going down this road.
Oh, so I can't say how are you doing, Marshall? Is that what you're saying?
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Real,
Yeah, I
real
really did.
childlike
Nah, saying
joke.
it looks Native American is crazy.
Yeah. No, but I am looking forward to Club World Cup. City are fucking they're killing it with this transfer window. I'm kind of hoping all their signings flop, but yeah, I don't think they will. We'll see how that goes, but it's gonna be a fun tournament. Like it's I know people were trashing on the Nations League, right, in the beginning, and at the end of the day, now in hindsight, people are looking at that and they're like, oh shit, maybe FIFA did a good thing here, and now there's more of a meaningful competition here rather than just random friendlies in Europe.
And you've won every single one. You've won every UEFA. I read this the other day. You've won every UEFA trophy there is to win with the Nations Cup now. You've won the Champions League, the Europa League, and now the
conference
say
league.
the line.
Conference
TJ,
league.
say
It's
the
been at every
line.
level, bro.
Yeah,
It's
we-
been at every
we've done it
level.
all.
They've been a
We
great.
have done it all.
I'm not gonna say the line again.
Say the
I've
line.
I've said it enough.
I'm too
I got my
good
point
to be
across.
playing in those
But
competitions.
I will say, like,
Whoa.
because a lot of people
I'm
were going into
too
the
exquisite of a taste to
You
go
have
to
great
McDonald's.
Give me some Grey Poupon in your fridge.
Yeah, the Grey
But
Poupon.
I
I hate
will-
Grey
I will
Poupon, bro. Dijon is like shit mustard.
Yeah.
I will
Dude,
say
Dijon
though,
is. I fucking love Dijon. Keep going. Last
I will
point,
say-
Marshall. Then we're gonna wrap up.
Last
You don't
point is
say,
that
TJ.
I mean it when I say this. This is going to be a good tournament. Like the teams, now that I mentioned the prize money and all that stuff, the teams are going to take this seriously. There are going to be some strong lineups out there as soon as players are available, because there's international duty and stuff like that as well. But as soon as players become available, this is going to be like a very serious competition. Like you will see the best come out, and I mean, get to
It's
where
'cause
that
they're
golden
paying
In the
Hang on,
knockout,
right?
you'll definitely you'll see the best come out in the knockout stages for sure.
Yeah,
The-
because it's
the-
gonna get because we're being real guys. It's gonna come down to like the European teams once we get out to the knockout stages. Like,
I think I missed the context behind this. It's because the prize money is a lot now, right? For
it
the
says like
Club World
100
Cup?
Yeah,
mil,
it's,
bro.
That's like
it's-
100 mil.
I can
100
guarantee
what you
you,
got.
Levy's going to be pulling some political strings to get Tottenham involved in that very, very soon, and you will see us back.
American tax money.
He wants that sweet Joe Louis bail money.
Yeah,
That
that
motherfucker
yeah.
cannot leave
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Caribbean
yeah.
waters.
And
Joe
you know
Louis
what?
is
Joe
legally
Louis-
not allowed to
Sweet
export.
Joe Louis.
And then, you know what? I'm glad you said that,
His
Jacob.
ankle monitor on. Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
glad you said that, Jacob, because the best way to get there is to sustainably be in Europe and sustainably be up on the league and in competitions.
Oh.
And sustainability is Thomas Frank's middle name.
Fucking cornhole for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Sustainability is
Hey,
Thomas
hey,
Frank's
hey,
middle name.
Daniel Levy would
Mr.
rather
Sustainable.
lose
No,
Thomas
that's what we
Frank's
gotta call. We gotta call Thomas Frank
career
Mr.
than
Sustainable.
win a trophy.
Mr. Sustainable.
This is sustainable.
You know how sad it is? I've never even looked into like what you need to do to qualify for it. I just knew that we were never.
You
going
just
there.
need Lionel
You need to
Lionel
dare
Messi.
to do
That's all
it.
you need.
You need
You,
to dare.
Lionel
That's what you
Messi,
need to
or
do.
just make deep runs into win competition. You're
Yeah, you
actually
gotta go. Yeah,
actually
it's like deep runs.
Dare to do.
I'm
That's
not gonna
all
lie
it
to
is.
you. I'll be so real with you, Jacob. Right now, you're in. I think because next season our UCL will
100
drop
million?
off of the rankings, you are actually in a better position to make it above Chelsea.
Yeah, let's
So
be.
you can hold on to
I'm
that
gonna-
trophy for now.
What
too.
the next
No,
one?
listen, I'm just gonna talk
Yeah,
about
because we have a
the.
conference.
I'm
league
gonna
and they
talk
have
about
a
the Club World Cup right now,
Europa.
real quick. I'm gonna talk
Guevara,
about the
Steve
Club World Cup
Cooper.
now. No one cares about the Club World Cup. We're only here for the money. Let's just keep
Here
it
we
going.
go.
We're here for the money. Whoa, don't do that.
Get this guy
Listen,
out of
we're not
here,
here for the
bro.
money,
Get
man.
this guy outta here,
Ain't
bro.
no one trying to watch Chelsea versus Tunis, Chelsea versus Flamenco.
Ain't nobody
You know what I
trying to
mean?
fucking
I
listen
watched
to
Chelsea
Troll
against
for
Rangers.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Give it
I-
a
How's he
break,
come out
bro.
the cell and say
I'm
the shit?
genuinely,
break.
I'm genuinely here. with
Yo,
a
have a
World
Kit
Cup.
Kat bar
Based on
because you
Bale
need a
and
break,
Bobby
dog.
I need to have. I'm just here for the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the finals, and see who I face.
Fine, and don't
Other than
watch.
that, man. Other than that, I have to watch. You know, because it's
No,
my
you don't
club.
have to watch.
And
You don't
me-
have to watch.
And
No
me,
one's
I
forcing
need
you
my
to do
own power for
anything.
my stream. I
You
need
don't
my own
have
power
to.
for my stream.
So you
You
need
know
to
what
do
I
it
mean?
for your stream. Okay, fine.
I need one power for my stream as well. I need one power for my stream too, Marshall. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Stop hating on the man. Trying to make his own money here.
Agenda's got
I
an
hate on the
agenda, right?
game.
You know what I mean? I need to see. Listen, Kukurea, man. I'm waiting for his time. You know what I mean? We've got to catch him slipping eventually.
No.
You know what I mean? No, but on a serious
You know,
note,
the fact
obviously,
that
on a
you're
serious
allowed
note-
out of jail is crazy. We gotta
listen,
fix
on
that.
a serious, on a much more serious note, obviously Club World Cup. If we win it for the first time, I like the trophy. I'll be honest. The trophy looks really cool. I know Marshall probably agrees with that.
Bro
but
said the trophy has an aura. Nah, man.
It does, man.
It
Like
does.
you got a key. You know, I like it. I like it, man. You know, I actually got to see the trophy. Actually, it was at the Chelsea Stadium like a few weeks ago. So I got to go and see the trophy.
Play it again, Jacob.
You know what I
Play
mean?
it
So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, hopefully we can win it. If not, let's just make some money and hopefully we can sign players. And hopefully
I do wanna
Manyan
see
is
the
done.
players.
Fucking gaffer,
And
bro. That's my
hopefully-
fucking
and I
gaffer.
hope-
I miss
and I
you,
hope-
boo.
and I hope tonight-
I miss you, boo.
And I hope tonight Manyan gets done.
Next
Miss
to
you. I
McDonald's.
miss you, Ange. I
Oh, man,
fucking
yeah,
miss
I
you,
get done.
I
dog.
hope United gets done because if they
I love
don't
you,
get-
Ange.
You guys
I'm
been.
sorry, Marshall,
Ahmed, you
for
better.
being.
Ahmed, you better hope that the Magnon doesn't continue the.
My
black-
manager's
I
not Thomas
promise you,
Franco. Fuck
Marshall.
yourself, Cunha.
I promise you, Marshall. Yeah, if Manyan does not get it done, I don't know.
Thank
what,
you,
I don't know what's
thank
gonna
you,
happen.
Oh
thank
my
you.
I don't know how I'm
god!
gonna
Thank
Because I
I don't know
God.
how
needed to
I'm
say
gonna
something.
react. Sucker donkey, you're not a sucker donkey. You're on crack. Get a life, mate. You know what I mean? Go and get some help.
If Maignan doesn't get done, we
That's
have
Ange.
Petrovic.
Doing
We'll
his
be fine.
different directions for
Hey,
his
Marshall, can you tell me what Ange does with his hands here? Are they in his
He's giving
pockets?
directions for his McDonald's order.
Pockets.
I told you take a left at the gate. Take a left at the gate. Bring me my food.
You bastard.
All right. All right. And you know what? There's no better way for us to end the show than with Ahmed in jail. So that's exactly what we're going to fucking do. Big up Dal for joining. Big up Corey. Obviously, really appreciate you guys hopping on the panel. Obviously, my brother Marshall and Jacob. Jesus. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Yeah. We'll be back live sometime later this week. I'm traveling now, so I'll let you know. But yeah, go and subscribe to everybody here. Casually FC, Corey AFC, Jacob Wallraven Uncensored, and obviously Oregon Goon. And then if you haven't subscribed to TJ Warren TV, do it now. Obviously, hit the like button. And by the way, I guess subscribe to the Bridge Nation.
I usually say I don't usually
subscribe to the Bridge Nation too. He's too busy. He's too busy playing Pokemon right now. But yeah. But anyway. We're gonna redirect it over to Zier.
Thomas Frank don't smoke that gas pack. He smoked methamphetamine. Fucking crazy crackhead motherfucker.
And with that,
we're out of here.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't be.
No, you're not God. You don't have the answers. You don't have the answers, Connor. You don't have the answers. Let's just stay like you don't have the answers.